Anywhere, just not here, no.
Hello. Hello, hello. Cerise, we will go find your boyfriends. Yes, hello, hello, everybody. I turned Spotify down too low. There we go, kind of. Yes, hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. It seems like it's been an interesting day for people today, but I'm excited because I'm gonna start a new game. Oh, no worries, Finn. No, I appreciate you stopping by. Seems like a lot's going on today for everybody, so that's okay. I like it. I've wanted to start Yakuza for a long time, so I'm very excited about this. Sticks, hello! Good to see you. I forgot to do a question of the day. I'm just realizing. Uh-oh. Quickly before Cloudbot says anything. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Ba-da-da-da. I don't even know what I want my question to be. Ah! I messed up. Lots been happening today. It's just kind of slipped my mind. This is why I need to make a list of these things. I'm at least gonna stop the timer for a second. Yes, how are you guys doing today? Are you guys dealing with the daylight savings change? Okay, I get like really confused and disoriented on this whenever the daylight savings change happens. Okay. You know what, actually, since we're starting a new game today, I have never really asked this question, I don't think. That. Let's stick it in the commands. Oops. Okay, there's that. Good. Okay. Yes. So, yes, this is a question I have not really asked before. Red, hello. I'm not surprised that Red is here because Red's my friend who loves Yakuza, and I told him today that I was playing. So thank you for coming. But so I will ask, question of the day for today is going to be, what's your favorite video game and why? If I've already asked this, I forgot. So I'll ask it again. But I don't think I've talked about my favorite game is BioShock or Persona 5. BioShock has been my favorite game since pretty much it came out, so like it's kind of hard to change that. But I love Persona 5 so much. Everything about it is so good. Oh, woo! I just did a thing. Oh, OBS, don't do that. Okay, there we go. But hey, on the upside, my internet looks kind of okay today, knock on wood. All right, let's go ahead and get over. There, okay. Let's get over to the actual game itself. Woo! No more Spotify. All right, so I don't have the game started yet because when I was doing my checks at the beginning, I saw that there was a cutscene at the very beginning, so I quickly clicked through it and didn't watch it because I wanted to watch it on stream. Tates, hi! Yes, oh, and I should say, I have never played a Yakuza game before. I have almost no knowledge of this series. I know it because Red specifically started this thing of saying that I would like absolutely be in love with Majima. And I've said that to other people, and everybody's been like, yeah, you'd love Majima. And like I've seen Cerise told me it's the 24-hour Cinderella Majima karaoke scene. I've seen that. I've seen some of the disco mini game. And I've heard the Kiryu-chan. Like I've heard that. It's a compilation of stuff in the game so you can skip. Okay, rad. Okay. That works for me. Hopefully it remembered the settings that I put on it. Also, at the very beginning, it says Yakuza play with controllers or something like that, and I don't own a controller, so perhaps I am not truly Yakuza. Oh, hi, Sega. Yeah, real Yakuza use a gamepad. I don't own one. Not one that I can put on my computer. 1 second. That was really loud for me. Turn you down, friendo. Better? I think that's better. Hey. Over here. Also, maybe play on easy mode. Okay, yeah, no, that's absolutely fair. I'm here for the story. I'm here for the shenanigans. I'm not here to be good at this game. So easy sounds fair. Let me just go in and make sure that my settings actually save. Yeah. Cool. All right. Yet another game where I have to learn the control scheme. All right. Easy. Where I am, baby. Oh. If game audio needs to be turned up, let me know. Or down, either way. Can't wait to see a man get a knife cooked into him. What? Hi, Exceed. Yes, playing a new game. I've had people tell me to play this game for forever. And I decided I want to play something new today. So Yakuza. Yakuza 0. I know the character Kiryu. I know that there's a character named Kiryu. And I know what he looks like, but I don't know if Suit Man is Kiryu. He's the greatest, sexiest dad of all time. Also, I don't know when this game came out, but it actually, like, even on just, like, medium graphics settings, this game looks good. Sorry, pausing it for a second so I can allow this message to come through. The Ultra DILF template. They all, why did they rip on Kiryu, Cerise? Was it because, like, he sucks or because he's, like, too soft or something? Because I know he's main character, yes? His fit? Oh, this is fun. Oh, 1988, that's fun.
こんな時間サスビラ切ったってタクシー捕まんないんだから。
やだ
No,
もう
if she says she wants to leave, let her leave,
いい
dude.
から宅代出してよ
True.
あ、じゃあさ、プラザのスイートでも取るよ。だから俺と朝までねね。
Someone that translated that was very proud of themselves.
なんだてめえ、言ってんだよ。おい、ちょっと待てよ、これ。
Well, that ain't polite.
ぶつかっといて何スカとこいてんだよ。
The mouth animation is great.
ちゃんと謝れっつんだよ。土下座する
Like the syncing is really good.
おい、よしよ。
They're also doing some fun camera placement with like foreshortening and like they haven't done a rack focus. If they do a rack focus in this game, I will lose it. I just like when things look cinematic. The new one will blow your mind. I know the new one is Like a Dragon, right? That's the newest one. Yeah, I have no knowledge of any of the Yakuza games. I don't know anything about the order of it. I don't know what ones you should and should not play, because I know some of them are not the best. You're so lucky I'm 6 games ahead of you after this. Oh god. I have heard that Yakuza 0 is one of the better ones, though, so I don't know if I might be spoiling myself for the rest of this series, because I'll compare the rest of them to Yakuza 0.
Yeah.
I wish I could unplay it just to play it again. Sorry, just like we went from like really well well done lip syncing to just this kind of like it looks like they're psychically talking to each other.
堂島組さんは仕事早くて助かるよ。はいこれ。約束の1割。
That's a shit cut, but I guess he is a loan shark.
どうも。で、これは俺からの気持ちね。いや、それは。鳥藩が常識のこのご時世、安い取り分でやってもらってんだ。普通なら本職の人にこんな安い額の取り立て頼めないからね。でも。
Literally a prequel, and the remakes, Kiwami 1 and 2. Oh, okay. I didn't know that they remade the first game. Well, the Dragon Engine in Yakuza 0 came out with. Oh, okay, that's cool. It's nice that they remade their games with a newer engine.
しかしバカに金貸しちまうと後が面倒でしょうがねえな。30万ポッチ捨てんのは簡単だが、回収しとかねえと商売としてのけじめがつかねえ。なあ。まあ。
Sorry if I'm in front of any of the
俺も
subtitles.
長いことこの町で金貸しやってるからよくわかる。今の世の中、金の本当の価値が分かってるやつなんてほとんどいやしない。その点、学のない君の方が高学歴の若造よりよっぽど分かってる気がするんだけど。そうじゃない？
Here you should you really just be standing on the street with like blood on your face like this? Visual novel time? No, I'm used to this. The voice acting's also good.
兄ちゃん、君の腕っぷしならヤクザやるよりもっと簡単にもっと多くの金が稼げる。いい飯腹いっぱい食って、いい女を好きなだけ
The text boxes are everywhere. I thought I tried to account for where they'd be, but no, I did not.
不幸な人間を幸せにすることすらできる。ヤクザは下積みが長え。手っ取り早くのし上がるには、うちに来て稼ぐってのもいい選択だと思うんだが。
This is becoming me just analyzing certain graphic things.
一度極道になったもんは時間を巻き戻せない。
So cinematic. I'm so here for it.
ヤクザには誰かを幸せにすることなんてできないんすかね。
That's a really subtle face movement.
さあな。
Wow.
俺はヤクザになったことねえからわからねえ。ま、気が変わったらいつでも連絡してくれ。じゃあ。
I probably won't. Okay, bye bye. Thanks. Good advice, I suppose. It was entirely unasked for. Ooh. I've heard this song before, I think. Twitch, don't ban me. The guy handing out papers is done with his life. The OST, yeah, this does bang. You're absolutely right. He did not eat. Okay, okay, so this is opening credits. Cool. I haven't played a game like this in a really long time, like a very cinematic looking game. So I'm just gonna be just very impressed the whole way through. Is he just realizing this now? Oh, bud. Oh, hun. I just like looking at little detail things that people put in. Kiryu is so good. Everybody loves Kiryu. I know that Coco from Hololive, she took her last name from Kiryu because she loves him so much. These just real adult video actresses as characters. That's actually kind of neat that they got AV actresses. Yeah, this music slaps. It's really good. I'm glad that people are excited about this game. I'm excited about it too. You mean Kiryu Coco, wife of Kazuma Kiryu? She deserves it. She absolutely deserves it. I have seen the clip of her playing like a dragon and like Kiryu shows up and she like screams so loud it breaks the sound barrier. Oh gosh, I don't want to. I'm not going to make up any voices for this as of right now. I don't want to do that, but I will read these. This is where Nishiki said he'd meet me. Guess I beat him here. Oh, a pager. Oh, the 80s. 724-106, huh? That's the code for what you up to. I'm waiting for your slow ass to show up. May as well have a look around to see if I can find him. Gotta do the Yakuza voice? I don't even know if there's a Yakuza. Good boy, little brother, best friend Nishiki. Oh, I got an achievement. Okay. Okay. So I'm getting... Kiryu doesn't know anything besides sprint. He only has run. Just breakneck speed run. One second, let me look at the controls here really quickly. Is there a way to make him not... Uh-oh. No, I'm gonna... Okay. It's fine. I'll work with it. I'll learn. Oh, I hold shift to walk like a person. Okay. There we go. Otherwise, I just have nothing but run. Okay, and I move this with the mouse. All right, learning. Hello. How do I interact with people? Okay. Just gonna walk like a person. Hello. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, I just had to walk down the street.
早く金貸せって。後で返すっつってんだろうが。え？困ります。勘弁してください。ごちゃごちゃうるせえんだよ。いいからさっさと出せ。
Cerise, we all know that my type is earnest idiot, so that might be very endearing to me that he cannot talk to girls. Running shakedowns on our turf? Somebody needs to set them straight before they try anything really stupid. Okay. Alright, minimap. Alright, okay. Hello, hi everybody, how are we doing? I'd rather you not do this.
なんだよ。見てんじゃねえぞ、俺。
Yeah, I want you to stop.
ヤクザじゃねえのか、そいつ。バカ。ヤクザったって、年も大して俺らと変わんねえ。どうせ下っ端だろ。
You don't know.
お前ら、この町に来んのは初めてか。
え？だったらなんだよ。
ここらはうちの組の島なんでな。カムロ町を歩き慣れている連中なら、この辺りでバカはしねえ。
I also know the Kiryu's voice actor like gave a message to Coco when she graduated, which was so sweet. Street hooligans! Yo! Yo! Why am I smoking? Okay, press to do rush combo. Gotcha. Punch, 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 punch. Punch. Okay. Punch, 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 punch. Wait a minute. Okay, pressing right during a combo attack to perform a finishing blow that knocks the enemy down. The knockdown effect varies depending on the number of times that was pressed. Okay, boop, beep, bop, what, what. Ooh, okay, 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 okay. Yeah. I do like these beat 'em up style games where you're just kind of like magnetized to the enemies, kind of like an Arkham Asylum style thing. Okay, the yellow gauge on the top left, gotcha, indicates your health. The game will end if the yellow part is fully depleted, so keep an eye on your health at all times. If the gauge flashes red, it means you're in very bad shape and should replenish health immediately. Health recovery methods: use a recovery item, eat something at an eatery. Okay. You got the Yakuza Boston speed. I know just the phrase "Oi, teme." Like I have that. Press Q near an enemy to grab them? Okay. If an enemy is guarding, grab them and then attack to deal damage. Will do. Ba 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 ba. Hey. No, I was doing something. Hey. I'm trying to. Let me grab you. Let me grab you. Let me grab you. Okay. That is nice to know, Red. Thank you that I can pause to use items. This isn't like a situation where if I pause, that's the problem. All right, your training is now complete. Time to wipe the smirks off your opponent's faces. If you get hit, you can strike back right away. Okay, so they're counters. Gotcha. You can gain money by knocking down or defeating enemies. Depending on how you do it, you might get a bonus too, so try and range of different moves. Will do. Hey. All you. Stop. Immediately. Hey. Hey! Did I just get $400 from hitting that thing? He totally did! Okay. Your turn. Oh, okay. Didn't need to do... What? Are you gonna try and run? Okay, that's fun! That's fun. That's super easy, too. It's like not a super complex fighting system. I can get down with that. Alright. Hello.
Nishiki.
Hi, Nishiki. I like your shirt. You're a very fashionable man. Akira.
逆だ。おめえがなかなか来ねえからこうやって時間潰してたんじゃねえか。
Had to find a way to kill time, so I punched a lot of people, man.
おとなしくヘルスにでも行けってろ。ガキじゃあるめえし。
興味ね。
Sweetheart Nishiki.
相変わらず硬いね。まあいいや。とりあえず飲みに行こうぜ。久々にオールで付き合えよ。な？
ああ。
Sure.
ありがとうございました。
You and your two shirts.
Huh?
He's wearing a collared shirt under a collared shirt.
この度はどうも。
Don't do that. I know it's the 80s, but don't do that.
行くぞ、錦。
Nishiki's a very good looking man. People will be like, my sweet little baby boy, and he's a Yakuza member. I know that whenever I eventually encounter Majima, just in my brain, every single time I see him, I'm gonna hear the TikTok sound of, here comes the boy! The boy!
今日の取り立てももう済ませたんだろ。
まあな。
これで風間のおやっさんも少し安心するか。
さあな。
I will scream. I'm excited to see him because literally the thing that I hear about most is Majima. And I know the most about him. Like, I know a little bit about his story. That's all I know.
風間のおやっさんが無所から出てくるのは年明けてからだ。 それまでに俺も少しは器用になっとくさ。
So we gotta get really, really cool and impressive by the time our boss gets out of jail.
まずそのみすぼらしいなりから変えてみな。
Oh no, Cerise. That's not gonna be good for me, I don't think.
お前もたまには50万のスーツでも着てみろよ。そうすりゃ世の中の見え方もちっ
Oh
た
my
く
god,
な
I
る。
cannot imagine spending that much on
俺は服なんかどうでもいい。風間のおやっさんだっていつも地味な服着てんだろ。
お前な、あの人は組の若頭。堂島組のナンバー2だぞ。あのレベルまで行きゃそれでも通用するがな。極道商売にある程度見えが
Oh my
必要
god,
なんだ。
please, please, Cerise.
お前が最近車買ったのも
This would be your first game with
その見栄の
Majima,
ため
so it won't break you as much.
このこじゃれた
Oh,
ライタ
that's
ーも
fair,
俺
that's
んだ
fair.
そろそろ返せよ。
見栄張りてんならケチケチすんな。
He only gets better over time, that's
お前
good.
も本当は分かってんだろ。人は車のエンブレムと着ている服のブランド、そしてこの堂島組の大門を見て素直に言うことを聞く。ヤクザは見栄張ってなんぼだ
Oh,
ぜ。
this game is his bad backstory. Oh, baby boy. Who was that gentleman that just entered the
そん
frame?
なもんさ。
For a half
仇
second.
のくせしてアコギな商売するやつに借りた金で遊びまくるバカ。この町の連中に人の内面なんて見抜けやしねえ。奴らにとっちゃ外見が全てだ。
わかった、もういい。それより飲みに行くんじゃなかったのか。
おうおう、そうだったな。よし、
Drink,
たまにはピ
drink,
ンク通り
drink,
にでも行
drink.
くか。あの辺りに
Pink?
いい店があるんだ。
Pink Street is a strip club, isn't it? Or some kind of red light district. Pink Street does not sound very say so.
行くぞ。
So? Okay. Alright, walking. Walking like a person. F. Okay, so I can just press F to follow him. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Okay. Hello!
社長
はい
さん、社長さん。
What?
一緒にホテル行けます
No,
ごめん。
no thank you.
この辺りの
いい
店、
よ
ちゃんと出入りしてるか？
Trying all these places.
当たり外れも含めて何でも知っとかねえとな。金ケチって溜め込むのもいいけど、こういうご時世だ。金は使いようで売買にもなる。
Why would you walk like a person when you can run like a
その手の
Yakuza?
情報をつかむには街で遊んで
That's
アンテ
very
ナ
true.
張らねえとな。この街でしのぐってのはそういうことさ。
I'm also just kind of looking
可
around
愛
like
い
the
女子
mini
大
map
生がより
too.
どりみどりと言われ、ついていったらバーバーばっかり。
Hag
5000コピー
salad.
のはずがぼったくられる。そういうのも全部勉強だと思えばいい。つが、そう思わねえとやってられねえだろ
Okay.
う。なんだよ。今のは物の例えであって、別に俺が実際に体験したってわけじゃ。
Not that that happened to me.
まあとにかく、今日は俺のおごりだ。
Okay, cool.
おめえもたまに
I
は
will
試しろ。
absolutely
いいな。
take you out on that Mr. Expensive suit. Wow, there's so much. Just in terms of like NPCs wandering around and everything, there's a lot. This game is huge. Yeah, that's what I've kind of gathered, is that it's a really, really big game. I just saw a karaoke thing. I saw the word karaoke. I saw the katakana for karaoke. I know that on sight. What is this, a fight? Looks like it. Oh. Oh, he's drunk. Oh, he's so drunk, sir. Come on, you're in the way. Sir. What's the problem, bro? You got a problem? We're in the middle of some important business. Hey, old man, quit talking to them. We're not done here. Ugh. Who's this old man, you snot little punk? Oh, he's also drunk. Not as drunk. It's not whatever you said. Oh, now you've done it. They're just like going back and forth. You guys good? Yeah? Come on, Grandpa. Take your best shot. Ah, screw it. They're completely wasted. Not worth the trouble. Let's take a different road. No need. I've got a faster way to fix this. Oh? Yeah. I just need to sober him up a bit. With my fists. Yeah, that's a karaoke bar. Can we go? No, that's bada. Again, I can't tell if you're a sadist or a charity worker. Okay. Punch, 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 punch. Oh, you both are squaring up. Okay. What are you blabbing about? Stay out of it. Yeah, but out you butt. Drunkards! Hi, guys. I don't want to hit them really hard, though. Watch the heat gauge. Okay, 3 blue, heat gauge, first bar, and as your attacks enemies, gauge fills up, shifting to the second and third. Each level your speed increases. Some moves require a certain level of heat, so once you are used to fighting, keep an eye on your heat level, okay? Once the heat gauge shifts to the second or third bar, Kiryu's body begins to glow with a blue aura. It's called heat mode, and it signals you can use special heat actions. Try to use heat actions while sobering up the drunkards. Okay. Okay. Oh, so it already charged it for me. Okay. Yo! Okay. Hey, man. You really, oh, I didn't mean to pick that up, but I did. How do I put it down? Whoa! That's one way to put it down. Okay. Your training is now complete. It concludes an explanation of the heat gauge. If you take a fighting stance using space, movement with W will center around the enemy. Okay, so that's a lock-on. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Okay, yes, good, perfect. I need something like that. All right. Okay. Oh, hey, let go of me. Hey, not what we're here for. Come on. All right. It is a lot to take in, but they're actually doing a pretty good job. Hey. Oh, I don't mean to just... There we go. Cool. Okay, this is stylish. I like it. This is fun. All right, you guys good? Ready to go home? Where am I? What was I doing here? And who are you? Sounds like that sobered them up. Or concussed them. It becomes much, much more stylish once Majima arrives. Okay. That must be your delicate touch. I remember watching music videos at that bar, and we got to talking about which idols we liked. Were you guys fighting about Best Girl? Yeah, then some smartass started making fun of poor sweet Shoko-chan. And then, my head's throbbing. I can't remember past that. Y'all started chugging sake and fighting about Best Girl. I think you two have had enough for tonight. Go home. Yeah, go home. Yeah, Whoa, you okay, mister? Here, I'll walk you to the train. Take it slow. Thanks. You're awful considerate for a kid your age. That's nice of him, at least. Especially because they don't remember what happened. Bad luck of Shimano. Aww. All's well that ends well. Let's hit that bar. He brought them together through, face punching. Completing certain challenges will earn you completion points. You can view them from the pause menu under completion list. Some are things that will probably happen on their own as you play the game, but others will require more deliberate effort. Okay. Lifelong friendship maker Kini. Visit temples or shrines to access CP exchange menu, where you can spend CP. Okay, to earn special blessings, ranging from being able to sprint for longer distances to earning more cash from fights. They're a big help. Take a look.
Yakuza?
The shonen method of making friends. That's it exactly. What a waste. A damn shame, I say. Okay. Oh, sorry. I continued following. You've got to punch like a 2-ton gorilla and you're wasting it on drunks? What do you think that talent was meant for? All that raw fighting prowess. Look, I just helped a couple of guys work off some alcohol, that's all.
Yes.
Sorry, you want to run that by me again? Yes, that's the point. That's the problem. You want to talk alcohol? You're like taking one swig from a vintage bottle and tossing the rest. Going from the look of you, you're some Japanese mafia, yeah? Something like that.
Yes.
Yes. Seems like you're pretty confident in a fight. Real dynamite boy. You're calling me boy? Don't get ruffled now, kid. Compared to me, you're practically a toddler. You don't look that old, sir. You just look kind of shabby. Hey, Kitty, what's the holdup, man? It's nothing. Be right there. No sense wasting time on this drunk. I should just go. Too much booze is bad for you, Gramps. Take care.
Hey.
Hey now. Hold up. Wait. I got one piece of advice for you. And I've got a friend waiting for me. You got something to say, make it quick.
What?
Oh, out for a night with your main... With your main dog? Okay. Me and the boys used to really wreck it back when I was your age, okay. But if you spend all your money playing around, you'll never get stronger. You gotta invest in yourself. What, like a gym membership?
No.
Nah, that's no better than spending it on booze. I'm talking about investing in yourself. Literally. Literally? What's that even mean? Are you gonna, like, fight bets and things like that? Glad you asked, my boy. Here's a special lecture just for you. Oh. Oh, okay. Oh, skill tree! Upgrades now available. Okay. Skill tree! Alright. Your heat gauge will slowly rise over time. Okay, so this one, heat gauge will slowly rise over time when you're wounded, however, only fill up to the second bar. Throw your entire body behind a vicious kick. Boost key to use maximum health. Is there any of these that are particularly better than the other? I might, Okay, so I kind of get, alright. Okay. I might do the health one to start with, because I'm bad at game, so health is good. What? Huh? Oh, I can't, It just put me here? It just put me here? Or can I only choose that one? Okay, I can only choose that one. I see. Oh, and then I could put, Okay. I can do that one. How do I know? How do I know when I can select a thing? Alright, I'll do this one. No. But it... Oh. Okay. Okay, pay money to get strong? I see. Hold it down, but it... Oh, okay. Like, let me go... Nope, it won't let me choose the other one. I think it's just because it's tutorial time. I do like that they brought you into the menu, showing how they got into the menu, and then you have to exit all the way back out so you can kind of see where stuff is. But it isn't like babying your hand, like babying you be like, press this button, and now press this button. It just shows you where it is, and then you have to back out so you know where it's at. You keep pouring money into yourself with a little training, that talent of yours will grow in no time. So keep the women and wine on a budget here. Huh. Investing in myself? Literally. Never thought of that. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people think that they can throw 30,000 yen at a problem and become a better fighter. Bet you're glad you stopped and listened now, huh? Yeah, I guess I am. Yo, Kiryu! I'm coming. All that serious talk killed my buzz. Time for round 2. You have a good night, my boy. You really don't look that old, sir. You really do not. What a weird old man. What's his deal? Oh. So I saw, Red, that you said that to just start doing my own thing here, but I'm gonna follow Nishiyama just to get through this little bit. Because I will never find him again if I leave now. Hi, dude. What's up? Oh. Okay, Pink Street. Okay, I'm on Pink Street now. I can't read very fast. Oh. Oh. That's unfortunate.
たく 相変わらず品のねえ街だよな。
だから人が集まってくるんじゃねえのか。最近の景気で金持った欲の塊みてえな連中がな。そいつらが酒やら女やら欲しがって集まる場所なんだ。
No, there's a free roam when there aren't any crosses on the mini-map.
不器用
Okay,
な
good
り
to
に一
know.
応分かっ
Thank
てんじゃね
you.
えか。
見直したか。
錦山く
They have a lot to set up. It's okay. Hello, ladies who just
よ
went through a man.
なんだあいつら。
Did you guys see that? There was a ghost.
現役女子
That man
大生ホ
disappeared.
ステスのまどかちゃんとゆいちゃんだ。
Madoka-chan?
あ
Meguka?
ね
I
え
like her
ポケベル
suit.
鳴らしてるんだから電話してよ
Little striped suit's cute.
今度いつお店来てくれるの
They're both cute.
今日後で顔出すよ。
本当に
なんだよ、俺の言うこと疑ってる？
信じた
Are
い
the
けど
background NPCs that are walking around, are they
そんなこと言うなよ。
just following their own paths even though there's a cutscene happening? Because that's kind of a cool idea, just to have them kind of keep going around.
やったー
Wingman
信じて
Nishiki.
るよ
Sultry scoundrel.
女ってのは器用なもんだね。
ありがとうじゃあまた後でね待ってるよ錦山くん
いつの間にか大した顔じゃねえか、錦。
お前さ、
Here you look at him.
俺があの女たちにまんまと小遣いせびられたと思ったろ。けどそうじゃねえ。女とつながっとくことが大事なんだ。
ん？
いいか。
Kitty's like,
この
what?
兄貴たちは基本的に女にモテない。
Not very popular with the ladies. Oh
ヤクザ
no.
でございますって格好してるからな。
それがなんだ。
だから兄貴たちと飲むときいろんな女連れてくとそれだけで小遣いくれるし。
Honestly, that ain't half bad
俺の
plan.
めでたくなる。
Half the time they give me cash on the
どう
spot.
せ
Oh,
心を
okay.
得たならどんな手使ってものし上がらなきゃ意味がねえ。違うか？
なるほど。そうかもしんねえな。
Okay. Networking
さ
Nishiki.
店はここだ。今夜はとことん付き合ってもらうからな。
Yeah, let's go drink. Takes notes. Do I get to do karaoke now? I want to do karaoke. Can I do karaoke now? Please?
お前、この店にはよく来んのか？
ん？これで2度目だけど。なんでだ？
ボトルキープなんかしてるからよ。常連なのかと思ってな。
Ooh,
ちまちまビール飲む
fancy.
より見栄えがいいだろう。店のもんに顔も売れる。
Using
ほら安く見
whiskey
られるの
stones
ご
over
めんなんだ
there.
な。
Fancy, fancy.
なるほど。お前は偉いよ。
I only barely understand the
確
concept
か
of
に見
whiskey
栄って
stones.
のを大事にしてる。
おめえもこの世界でのし上がりたきゃ少しは見習えよ。
Nishiki's hella. He seems like it. He absolutely does.
おめえはそういうタイプじゃねえってことか。
俺は
Nishiki, literally nothing about this man is
おやっさん
showy.
の
What
背
are
中を
you?
追いかけてこの世界に入った。孤児だった俺ら拾ってくれたあの人のために。
Oh.
てめえの体張るくらいしか脳がね。
Yakuza is also partnered with tons of alcohol brands, so you can order real alcohol. That's kind of fun, actually.
いや、も
That's
しかした
cool.
ら
That's fun.
おめえは今のままでいいのかもな。
ん？
おめえが風間のおやさんが出世すりゃ、おめえにも出世
Maven,
の方が出てくるかも
hello!
しれない。
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for the
So you know
raid.
she
Welcome to
had become
Yakuza
Arisa.
Zero. We're just barely starting. I know nothing about this game.
お
We're
め
just
え
in
は風間のお
cutscenes.
やさんの子じゃない。
Hello,
堂島組の
hello,
組員。
hello. One second, let me pause it. Ooh, let me pause this for a second. Just so I can shout out Maven. How was your stream? Here we go. Hi. You're playing. Oh, yeah, Outlast. Yeah, I remember seeing that. Hello. Yes. Mojo Janjiro. Yep, Yakuza. You beat it? Awesome. That's great. You're in both streams. Succeed. That's great. And I'm just asking people today, just in general, what favorite video games are. I do think I've asked that question before, now that I'm thinking about it. But it's fine, I want to hear it. Alright, okay. Alright, okay.
おやっさん、なんで俺らのことを
We're learning
風間
about
組に入れてくれ
Nishiki
なかったんだろう
and
な。
Kiryu.
そりゃ堂島組の方が格は上だけどさ。
Really though, this game is so cinematic. Just as a person that really,
おやっさんに
really
考えがあっ
watches
ての
like
ことだ。
framing and composition and like camera movement and stuff like that, they really took like a very cinematic approach to these cutscenes, and I'm so happy about it.
よし。
Like the slow pan is very
真面目な話はもうや
good.
めだ。カラオケでもしてパッと騒ごうぜ。
Yes.
なあ。
Karaoke, 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 karaoke. Yeah.
今日はとことん付き合うぜ。
I want to see this man who looks like his smile muscles haven't been used since birth sing karaoke. Yeah, Kitty looks like he hasn't smiled since literally birth. Karaoke is a rhythm game. My whole jam. Kiryu is in Dojima household, subsidiary of the Tojo clan. Okay. Dojima Tojo. Okay, I can remember that. Press buttons and time with the song. Okay, I know how to play a rhythm game. All right, make sure you press the correct buttons at the right time. I'm absolutely gonna fat finger a lot of these. Kiryu is a very kind and cheerful man. Aw. When someone else sings, you can support them with interjections. You can choose to either simple or live. I'm gonna choose lively every single time. Simple offers easier inputs, but you won't get more than 90 points. Yeah, lively. Are you kidding me? Uh-oh. How do I do this? How do I do this without a controller? Oh, okay. It's arrow keys. I can do that. Oh yeah, he goes crazy. He does. That's exciting. Okay. I'll start with judgment. But if they let me also do bakamitai, I'll do that as well. Let's go. Oh my gosh, this like cheesy. Oh, and the capo with the CD on it. Love it. Yes, you can always come back later, but I can also do it now. Okay. Oh, okay. 1 second. This is. Why is he so quiet? I'll have to fix the. He's shy. Just watch me getting very focused on rhythm games. Whoa, what? Sorry, I got very distracted by Rockstar Kiryu. Whoa! Oh my gosh! She can't take her hand. Oh my god, this is amazing! Amazing! Holy shit! I love everything about that. Oh my god. It causes me to panic because I got distracted and I'm like, oh no. Yay, I don't know what the maximum score is. I did my best. Oh man, I only missed 12? Or does this one break your combo on? Oh gosh. What's happening? What happened? 1 second, let me alt tab over here because I don't have my my stream labels. Kind of need that. Okay, they're so good. Okay, can I play more, please? Please let me play more. Hi, Senti! Oh, that was you hosting. Thank you for the host. No, more. No, don't continue the cutscene. No. No. More. No, more. No, I want to do more. No, I want to do bakamitai.
知らなかったぜ。 おめえがあんなにカラオ
I
ケ
know
好
that
きだっ
song.
たとはよ。
I can sing that song.
バカ。
Let me do Bakabitai.
それはお前がハメ外そうとか言うから仕方なく付き合ってやっただけ
I
で。
was just trying to humor you.
嘘つけ。その割にはノリノリだったじゃねえか。
That was I loved every minute of it. That was amazing.
なあ。
よせよ。そんなわけねえだろ。
Come on, Kitty, you have fun, buddy. You can do it. You can have a good time. Karaoke's
それ
fun.
にしても
I love
思いっ
karaoke.
きり歌ったら腹減ったな。
Bakamitai is
Shimmy
such a good song. It genuinely is.
まだ食うつもりか？俺はそんなに腹減ってねえよ。
Hey, he said that
まあいいじゃねえ
he's
か。
treating you this whole night, man.
天国
Don't
圏で
pass
どう
up
だ
on the food, my dude. Take it. Take the food.
しょうがねえな。わかったよ。
Senti, I'm having a great time so far. I haven't played a whole ton. We're still kind of in like the tutorial phase. 1 second, I'm gonna fix the audio. Nope. Okay, do I have to? Okay, controls. Okay, 1 second. I will go over here for a second. It's so fun. I'm having a great time. Seriously, that karaoke segment just made my whole day. Yeah, I'm just gonna turn this up. I'll just turn this up and then I'll turn it down as needed, and turn it up and down as needed so that I can. I'm sad I couldn't totally hear that song very well. Okay, we're going.
前から思ってたけどよ。おめえいい
Let me know if I
声
need
してるよ
to
な
change
曲のチョイスは渋いけ
the
ど。
game volume at
悪
all.
かったな。
Karaoke. I would 110% stay in the karaoke bars until I get like full combos on everything because I love rhythm games. I get really easily sucked into rhythm games. Excuse me.
俺も今勉強中だ。知ったかぶりしてなんとか
Male
やり過
idol
ごしてる
scene?
それ周りにバレてんじゃねえのか？
かもな。やっぱ
We're gonna get in on idol culture?
最近はマジで可愛い子が多いぞ。
No, idol culture
ああ
is for
帰
everyone.
ったらチェックしてみろよ。
I spent easily 3 hours
俺より
frustrated
詳しくなるだろうな。
night. Is there
さあ、
そのうち俺ら二人8匹でコンサート行ってたりして。
I would love to see that, please. No, Kiryu, no, it'd be great. Do it. Go,
着いたぜ。
Kiryu, go to a Love Live concert. Go see Aquars. Okay. Oh, I'm still following you. What are we doing? What? Sorry, I looked away for half a second. What's happening? What do you want from me? Huh? Okay. In a later games, there's a host club that's story important. Amazing. Oh, hello. Good morning. Nishiki would love HoloLive. Oh my god.
なんだよ。
Who do you think would be Nishiki's favorite HoloLive
だ
girl?
からもう食え
Exceed?
ねえって言ったろ。
Yakuza Love Live is
大盛りの食ったの見やがって。
情けねえこと言うなよ。それでも男が
Oh, guys. Sentience in 1988 is this one. They said at the very beginning. Oh. Oh, shit. Wait. Did one of the people that we hit die? Did we kill a man? He likes the cutesy. Well, and Pekora has played Yakuza 0. Come on, Pekora.
警視庁の調べでは栗原さんは金融業者数社から借金を抱えていたとみられ、
That's no good.
今後関係者から事情を聞く方針です。
Was he alive when you left? Maybe. I didn't.
ん？
I don't think I murdered a man.
殺したと。
I don't think I
よ
murdered
く
a man.
話したろうが。
いや、
Oh my gosh, he's so nonplussed.
夕べの取り立て。相手のこと結構
These
痛め
subtle
つけたって言って
face
たな。
movements are so good. Like the little eyebrow movement. I appreciate it. Okay.
ここって、
Ah, shit, I killed a man,
俺が
didn't
取
I?
り立てした場所だ。
He only kills canonically in cutscenes?
マ
Okay.
ジか。
いや、死ぬまで殴った
Okay,
わけじゃ
yeah,
ねえ。
no, we didn't fight anybody hard enough to kill him.
人がごった返すネオン街からわずかに裏道を入った先にあります。ビルとビルに囲まれて人目につきにくい かなりいびつな空間という印象を受けますが、栗原さんの死体はこのわずかに残る更地に倒れていたとのことです。
Oh.
こいつ
Okay. It's the beginning dude. Oopsie. Oopsie doopsie.
俺が
Good boy requirements only kills or maims sometimes.
お前本当に間違
I
いねえ
didn't
の
kill anybody, Exceed. That was in the opening cutscene. I didn't do it.
何やってんだよ
Oh my god, dude, you messed up. Oh, Kiryu, you done fucked up. Oh no, buddy. Oh, you're in trouble, man.
誰からだ組か
ああ早速呼び出した
Welcome to the plot. Oh no. The plot is Kiryu accidentally killed a man? Are we gonna get kicked out of our gang?
事務所に
Murder
電話して
mystery. Oh, we didn't know there was a murder mystery. That's really exciting,
今のニュースの件で呼び出され
actually.
たんだよなお前まずいことになったないやお前ももちろんやべえけどこれで風間のおやっさんの立場も危うくなる
But he's still in jail for a minute, yeah? Until the end of the year, you
この
said?
不始末につけ込まれちまうってこ
Oh
とだ
no.
どういう意味だ
Can't believe how great of a fit this series is for you. I'm also very surprised that I've loved literally everything.
だからよ俺らの不始末はお
Okay.
やっさんの責任にもなっちまう
I mean, that's true.
だが俺
Kind
が
of
や
how
っちまった
gangs
ことだ
work.
おやっさんは関係ね
そうはい
But
かね
no,
えよ
still,
殺しとなるとことがでかい多分おやっさんの後釜に座ろうって連中は間違いなくそこをついてくる
But no, it's story driven. There's characters. There's rhythm games. There's a murder mystery. This is everything for me.
おやっさんが殺にパクられたのもその3人の誰かに
Kazuma is the deal for this game since Kiryu is young.
おやっさんの仕切ってた鳥羽周到に場所変えてたのにいきなり
I've only seen him in a cutscene, but Kazuma
組の事情に
looks like a
詳しい
very
者が殺に
serious
チクっ
dude.
たとしか思えねえでそれが誰かっていや3人の若頭補佐の一人クゼの兄貴だったって噂だ
クゼの兄貴がおやっさんを殺に撃ったってことか
Wow. Okay, cool. So we're
も
gonna
ちろん
fight
証
him,
拠があ
yeah?
るわけじゃないで
Oh.
もよその件でおやっさんが無所に行ってからクゼはえらい勢いついてる火のないとこになんとやらだ
Ooh.
何しろ
Ooh.
今は組に連
You
絡する
working
し
with
か
the cops, cause it?
だろう
そうかそうだな分かった俺はとりあえず知恵貸してくれる人を探してみる
すまね
You could call me if anything happens. All right, goodbye. Oh. Oh, wow, looks very different in the morning. Yeah, because the gang politics are important to every plot. There's so much in the... Oh, gosh. Okay, I'm gonna have to try and keep, like, families together and stuff. I've got to call Dojima Family HQ. There should be a payphone around here. Find a payphone! I can do that, baby. All right. I am gonna run. Because there's nobody here. Gotta call the family office. Takes a while to learn them all. Yeah, it's gonna take me a bit. I know, for sure. Okay. I appreciate you guys kind of helping me out. Because it seems like this is a pretty dense... Bye! Seems like this is a pretty dense series.
桐生だそっちで誰か俺のポケベル鳴らしたか
あ、はいクゼの兄貴に言われまして桐生さんすぐ事務所までお越し願いやす
Personal inventory and storage inventory. Okay.
お三方が桐生さんをお待ちで
Oh shit, that's gonna get pinned on him, isn't it? It's gonna get pinned on him because he was supposed to collect from that dude, huh? It's absolutely gonna get pinned on Kiryu. Bud, you fucked up. Well, no, you didn't fuck up. Well, I guess I better take a taxi to the Dojima family headquarters. Go to the Dojima family headquarters. The road is... Oh. Uh-oh. Sorry, my mouse cord's tangled a little bit. All right, let's go find a taxi. Ah. Second, I'm gonna put my... oh, whoa, stop that. I'm gonna put my other headphone in. Oh, so actually, looking at the mini map, I should go this way. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay, and then this. Okay, cool. God bless an easy to use mini map. Okay. Alright. Okay. I'm absolutely going to be reading some of the signs, but I read very slowly. Hi, everybody. What are we staring at? What are we doing? Oh, sorry. What are we doing? Sorry. Sorry. To be fair, you guys are taking up the whole thing. Hello. Taxi. Taxi fare starts at 170 yen. Okay. Honestly, $5 for a taxi ride ain't half bad. Even less than that. I don't know what the conversion rate was in 1988, but I know that right around 100 yen is $1. So it's kind of easy to convert that way. Okay. So there's the Tojo clan and the Dojima family. I'm assuming that's a subset of the whole family. The whole umbrella is the Dojima, and then this is like a subset. Or do I have it backwards? I'll figure it out. It's gonna get spicy? Oh no. I don't know if I want spice. Crime thriller! I don't get to talk about it enough, but I love mobster things. Like, my favorite anime of all time is Baccano, because I absolutely love a good gangster tale. 3 antagonists? Yeah, this man's face screams antagonist. Oh, this is Kuze? Okay, lieutenant. He's head of a Kendall. Sumi is a... No. Okay. She was hot. Okay.
カムロ町で見つかった死体の件ですが。
やっぱりてめえか。これはゴルどころじゃなくなっちまったな。
What? No, was not me.
クゼの兄貴。
Okay. Patriarch of the Taihei Association. Okay.
お前に取り立てを頼んだ金貸しかが。
Cerise, God, no. I don't think I intimidate literally anybody.
東郷クレジットの社長だ。
They're throwing a lot of names at me, and I'm gonna try my best. No? Also, sir, I like your coat. I want your purple coat, please.
たかが30万程度の小競りの取り立てで本性が下手打つとも思っていなかっただろうからな。
What? No, I didn't do that.
同情するぜ。
Oh, really?
そんなことはどうでもいい。理由がどうあれ。
They'll wear their iconic outfits at all times to avoid confusion. That's good. They did do a good job of making them have very, very different color palettes and then like giving them accessories and different hairstyles. It's important when you're just looking at like a lot of just men of a similar age range. Wow, no. No. I didn't do it. Look here, fucking turtleneck and chain. I didn't do anything. I didn't indeed punch that man. But I did not kill that man with punches. I promise. The details on Kuze's face with his like pock marks and like scarring is very, very good. What would you do to protect the family? God. I take no body nowheres. No.
おやっさんの指示ってなんでおやっさんの名前が出てくるんすか
I can actually kind of get an idea about these guys' personalities just kind of from how they're like sitting and acting in this scene, which is really good. Good writing, good character writing. You did it.
なんであの場所を選んだ？カジラの指示じゃねえのか？あ？
No.
それにチャカはどこで手に
Yeah, this Shibusawa man seems like he's like the serious one. He's the one in the anime who would push his glasses up to his nose and it would do like the weird light refracting thing.
俺は銃なんか持ってません。
この後に及んで白を切り積もるってか。
I like your watch.
見つかった死体は痛めつけられた後、とどめに頭を打たれていた。
Yeah, I already really enjoy the writing.
高揚してねえかな。
本当ですか？その話。
I think he might be sure about that.
死体転がしたのは俺じゃありません。俺は素手で奴を殴っただけです。本当です。
もしその話が本当だとしたら、お前は誰かにはめられたってことになる。そうだな。
Yeah. Well, I'm glad they're at least listening. Thank you.
と言ってるが。
Okay, never mind.
嘘に決まってんだろ。たくわらぎしやがって。てめえみたいな下っ端はめて誰が得するってんだ。
ああ、キリ。もう一度聞くぞ。なんでわざわざあの場所で騒ぎを起こしたんだ。
That is very true. It is very
あの場所に相手を呼び出すから。
It is very kind of scary to speak up in this situation. So Kiryu being like, no, is very strong.
どうやら金貸しから話聞く必要がありそうだな。
Yeah, that loan shark was shady as fuck. Not that all of us aren't a little bit shady, but
しかも場所が場所だ。このままじゃあっちの仕事に支障が出ちまう。
The project?
どうするよ、クゼナ兄貴。
答えは
クゼナ兄貴。
一つだろ。
Yeah. The graphic quality difference between like these fully animated cutscenes and like the partially animated cutscenes actually isn't like a super severe thing. It isn't like Kingdom Hearts where like the fully animated cutscenes are really, you know, very detailed, and then the smaller term cutscenes are full of paper face. That's nice, at least. I'm so easily confused, especially if I'm playing a game while streaming, because I have a lot of spinning plates when I'm streaming. What? Your lip texture is crazy. That's so good. I'm even playing on a lower graphics setting and your skin texture looks amazing.
通称空の一坪って厄介な土地なんだ。お前ら下っ端は知らねえかもしれねえけどな。堂島組長から俺ら頭補佐の3人に命令が出てたんだ。
Okay.
どんな手使ってもその空の一坪を手に入れろとな。
空の一坪。
針の穴ほどの隙間もない繁華街に偶然できた一坪の空き地だ。
Maybe don't say hole when talking about the Pleasure District.
親が欲しがるものを差し出す。それが子分の義務ってわけだ。
You sure, Kuze? Because I don't trust you. I do not trust you.
だが、その場所で仇の死体が見つかった。あの土地が世間の目を引いちゃ、地上げしようにも手出しが難しくなっちまう。
Yeah, so obviously that's a plan to mess with the family, right? Like, because there would be no way that Kiryu would have known that the empty lot was being sought after. So why would he dump a body there?
堂島の親父に差し出したやつにはとっておきの褒美が用意されてる。
褒美？
Like 5 million other places to throw a body.
不在の風間の頭の後、堂島組次期若頭のポストだ。つまりあの土地は俺ら頭補佐にとってただの一坪じゃねえってことだ。まあ最初はてっきり 風間の頭と繋がってるお前が俺らの邪魔するためにやったのかと思ってたが、その顔色じゃ何にも知りませんでしたって感じだな。
ちょっと待ってください。それじゃ風間のおやっさんはおやっさんは
And
ど
he
うな
got
るんです
sent to jail. I don't know if I have a feeling that he might be like the big bad that we have to punch in the face repeatedly, but we'll see. Wow. Oh, and whose fault is it that he's in prison, huh? Huh? Huh?
理由はどうあれ仇をぶち殺しまったとあっちゃ。きっちりけじめつけねえと。
Did you do this? Did you do
おやっ
this?
さんは関係ない。
Did you do this?
殺しはやっていません。
そういうことは殺につっても
No.
ヤクザの言い分聞くほど連中も暇じゃねえだろうな。殺には今日中に実施しろよ。それと縁故詰めとけや。お前も極道なら組長に挨拶しとかねえと。
Uh-oh. No. 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 Nope. 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 This all stinks. This all reeks of shenanigans. This is some bullshit. I'm keeping all my fingies. No, we're not doing that. Not doing that. Yubi, please, Yubi. Looks like that loan shark set me up. He totally did! I also just deep in my soul feel like that Kuze might have had something to do with it. So Koroni is mafia? I would, yep, probably. I don't know what his game is, but he and I are gonna have to talk. Oh, here he is again. Hey, boy. Hello. What? You know who the foreigner looks like? He looks like, the dude in Bleach that wore the dumb hat and the shoes, who was like the blonde. Ooh, this sounds good. Oh, so you're the old guy from last night. Yes. Finally, I've been searching for hours. For me? Oh, Eureka booze, you're wasted. This whole town's one big bar. It was made for drinking. Me and Kamaji-kun here have been at it all night. He looks very sober. Yeah, well, glad somebody's having a good morning. Got a face more sour than a lemon, boy. What's wrong? Can't promise much, but I'm happy to lend you an ear. It's, I've just got a lot going on right now. Uh-huh. Well, alright. Anyway, I had a favor I wanted to ask you. Yeah? You mentioned you've been looking for me. Actually, wait, sorry, but I don't have time for any of this right now. I'll see you later. Oh, thanks. I just need you to talk to a couple of guys. They'll be here real soon. They'll also be real angry. Okay. Just wait until you get emotional. Oh, no. You're not even listening. Why should I care about your problems? That's a great question. Ask them. They're real eager to talk to you, too. What? Oh, hey, speak of the devil. Here they are now. The man in the white pants, I really like his jacket. Alright, Gramps, is this the kid? Yes, sir, my prized pupil. Are you trying to put me in a fighting ring, old man? I'm sorry, pupil. You never think about takoyaki the same way by the end of this game? Oh no. Oh my god, the $1,000,000 loan I gave these two deadbeats is way past due. I need it back and I ain't waiting much longer. Why tell me about it? Wait, you don't expect me to pay, do you? That tip I gave you the other day's worth at least that, no? Sir, it's been like less than 12 hours since I've seen you. Besides, the debts of the master are the debts of, you know, you. No. Like hell they are. Admit. And since when are you my master anyway? I don't really give a shit who you are. Just give me my money before the big gentleman behind me gets impatient. His name's Bruno. Hi, Bruno. Bruno here, he's got a short fuse, especially for stubborn types. For your own sake, I'd pay before I got hurt. Hey, boy. What now? think you could take Big Bruno here in a fight? Didn't say for sure. Doesn't really matter either way because you're not going to drag me into your problems. Oh, so you think he'd beat you? I didn't say that. Look, if you're trying to bait me, it's not going to work. It's your debt. You handle it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a letdown. Can't have you getting spooked over a chump like him. He's bargain bin muscle, dime a dozen, bottom of the bracket. Bracket? What are you even talking about? Hey, what's all with all the whispering, boys? Are you paying or does this get ugly? I told you, this has nothing to do with me.
Yes.
Okay, alright, I'll pay you the money. Wise choice. I feel terrible, just terrible for all the hassle I caused. Tell you what, why don't we make it 2 million? You want to pay me double? Like I'm gonna buy that? You're drunk off your ass, old man. Oh, I've got the money. Be happy to give it to you, even. On one condition. Yeah? What's that? You have your tank back there, fight us for it. He beats all 3 of us, the 2 million's yours. We win, and we don't owe you a thing. Shit, you're not drunk, you're crazy. Bruno's famous around here for busting heads. All 3 of you could rush him at the same time and he'd snap you like twigs.
No.
Nah. Fight's gotta be one-on-one. Rules and all. 3 against 1 wouldn't be fair. You want to take him on solo? John, thank you for the sound redeem. Want to take him solo? Well, hell. If you don't mind me taking the money off your corpse, I'm game. You got yourself a deal. Well, that's just lovely. I will tell you right now, I'm not bailing you out. If you don't want to get hurt, I'd start apologizing now.
Come on.
John, thank you for the hydrate redeem. I'll do that now. Okay, I'll go first then.
Oi.
Oh no, Kamoji. Hey, are you even listening? Are you sure you want to do this? You'll be fine. Just a little workout. You just focus on keeping an eye on the action, boy. Watch Kamoji's moves. What? Seriously? And fight. Fight da yo. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Duck and weave. Yeah. All that bulk don't mean shit if you ain't fast. That's rad. Yeah. Punch. Okay. That was a stylistic choice that was made. I'm tired. Gotta remember to eat before I do this stuff. Kamoji, was it? What were those moves just now? Actually, forget it. Are you okay? You shouldn't push yourself like that. He's fine. Told you, didn't I? Big guy didn't land a single punch on him. Hey, you in the coat. Homeless dude. Bruno's barely got a scratch on him. You gonna try to finish the job with those weak-ass punches? No. Kamoji-kun, you sit this one out. I'm calling the round as your manager. Let the kid take it from here. Uh-oh. You know what to do, don't you, boy? Yeah, alright. I meant it when I said I wouldn't bail you out, but watching him just put me in the mood for a quick round. Right then. On to round 2 of the 2 million yen murder parade. 2 million yen murder parade. Bruno, take him. Okay. Square up, dude. Let's go, buddy. You can switch to rush style by pressing 2. Understand. Okay. Ooh, and the music changes. Okay, one advantage of the rush style is you can evade with a series of quick steps by pressing E repeatedly. You can combo up to 3 of them together. Use this to avoid enemy attacks and wipe them out without taking damage. Oh, okay. 1. Okay, gotcha. What? Okay. Aha! It just wants me to keep doing this. That enough quick step for you? Okay. 2 million yen murder parade featuring Sumire. These rush style moves to crush Bruno and show him his boss. Then using the rush style, you can stun enemies by hitting them a certain number of times. Attacks on stunned enemies will knock them down without fail, so that attacks are effective against foes that are hard to knock down. Let's go! Yeah? Grab him. No, I want to grab him. Oh, okay, I don't think I can grab him. Hey, hey. No. Hey, no, stop. Stop that. Ah. I need to stay locked on him. There we go. Oh. I didn't think I was gonna stun him there. Hey, oh god, we're blocking each other at the same time. Hey, no. Hey. Okay, alright, okay, focus up. Alright, lock on. Alright, there we go. Okay. Yay! I win! Sorry, dude. What just happened? Bruno barely got a punch in. Just who the hell are you? It's Kiryu. Dojima family. Which family are you guys with? Whoa, wait, you're a proper Yakuza? Sorry, sir. I didn't know. We just work for Toko Credit. Literally, he has the lapel pin. Well, there's a coincidence. I have business with your boss. Need to meet him as soon as possible. You know where he is right now? President? I figured he'd be at the office at this hour. Let's see. That's in a building on... Okay. Taihei Boulevard East. Pay him a visit then. Takes care of that little debt of ours, right? Yeah, fine. A deal's a deal. Bruno here will have to cover the difference. That's how our kind of debt collection works. Uh-oh. Sorry, Bruno. Woo, that's a tough world, I tell ya. Well, I better get moving. Come on, Bruno. Pick it up. Bye, Bruno. All the streets have names. You can find them in the map and menu. Okay, good. Hi. Hey, tell me something. Yeah? Just, who are you? A good question. Why approach me? Also a good question. What are you after? Best question.
Yes.
Me? Yes. Yes, well, people here call me Bacchus. Are you kidding me? If I remember correctly, Bacchus is a Roman fighter. It is a Roman name. Bacchus, and I came to you because I had an angry thug on my butt. Yeah, nice of you to dump him on me. Look, if you're in some trouble, tell me. Maybe I can help. And that goes for him, too. Those weren't the moves of an amateur. What's his deal? Roman god of wine, pretty sure. God of wine is Dionysus. I actually don't know his Roman name, though, off the top of my head. It might be yeah, no, because Bacchanalia. Yeah, it might be Bacchus is Dionysus's Roman name. I'm more familiar with Greek than Roman. Oops. Oops. Hitting my mic. Real steal of a deal is what it is. He's got a gig sweeter than honey. Real fascinating to watch. You should go have a look too, boy. What? LOL, thanks, Hades. Agriculture, wine, and fertility, baby. Yep. At Kamoji's job? But he's homeless, right? What kind of work does he do? He's, what you call it? A fisting artist. Whoa, that's not really my scene. That ain't it, it's a punch-out artist. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Punch-out artist. Slip of the tongue. Alright, so what's a punch-out artist? Kiryu is very open-minded. Yeah, he's like, no thanks. Customer pays a fee and they get to throw as many punches at me as they like. I don't think I follow. This is some new S&M thing? Nah, nothing like that. Come by and watch if you got the questions. I work in the Shichifuku parking lot.
Yes.
In a parking lot? Kamoji-kun's here's got plenty to teach you about fighting, my boy. You'll kick yourself if you don't check it out. Alright, I get the picture. Shichifuku parking lot, right? I'll swing by if I can find the time. It's Kiryu-san from the Dojima family, right? I'll be waiting. See you soon. Okay, Kamoji. Kamoji-oji-san. Well, that takes care of my troubles for today. I suppose I can't convince you to take on the world? No. The world? What does that even mean? Are you still trying to recruit me into pro fighting or whatever it was?
So, Nick.
Son, that's exactly what it was. You got the potential most men can't even dream about. That world champ title could be yours. Sorry, I'm not some starry-eyed kid who'd fall for that line. If you're looking to scout somebody, keep looking. I'll tell you one thing, boy. If you keep living street fight to street fight, you'll wind up with a knife between your ribs in some dark alley. That's no way to go out. You belong in the light, the spotlight, and I can get you under all the brightest ones. What do you say? You and me versus the world. No. Yeah, okay, we just met. You're not gonna change your life around because of some old geezer asked you to. I get it, I give up for now. You really don't even look that old, man. But that doesn't mean I'm giving up for good. You got room to grow, like a tree. I'll keep coaching you along the way. Okay, Bacchus. You got skills as a trainer, that much I believe. But I'm really not in a position to be worrying about anybody but myself right now. Sorry, but hey, maybe I'll see you around. All right, my boy. Just steer clear of dark alleys till then, you hear? No knives in those ribs, or bullets, for that matter. Are you trying to jinx me? See you later, Bacchus. Apparently the Toko Credit President's is opposite Taihei Boulevard East. I'll start there. Okay. Okay. With there not being any, What? Huh? Hello? What's up? Where are you coming from? Where's that? Hey! Hey, hey, hey! What's up? Somebody help. Nothing to see here. Or do you want to be my new punching bag? Oh yeah, nah. I'm the kind of punching bag that punches back. Oh, what's up, guy, huh? You're dead. I don't think I am, buddy. Okay. Okay, let's... Oh my god! Bye-bye! Yeah? Ooh, where's the other one? Where's the other one? Oh, you? Ah! Let me... Okay, please lock on. There we go. You can intervene and stuff to fight to get money. To upgrade, to do more story. Okay, to repeat the cycle. Violence begets violence. Alright. I'm sorry, it won't happen again. Thanks, I don't know what I would have done without you. Please, take this. Got a slightly battered toughness light. I'm human enough. Okay. Yeah, so I can just kind of go around and do whatever now, huh? I just want to look at the completion list. Okay. Okay. Oh, there are 5. Okay, 5 stories. Oh. These are so. This is so many mini games. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm gonna live my life in this minigame tab. Oh no, this is the exact kind of thing I sink all my time into. What items do I have? That's a good question. I just have this. Components. Yeah, I just have the toughness light. Easy on the wallet, but doesn't restore a lot of health. Okay. And my pager. This is why I never finished Yakuza Like a Dragon. It's because of the mini games. There's so many. Hey, let me see. Yeah, no, I don't have anything. Abilities. Oh, can I upgrade my rush? Can I do that? Immediately recover and perform an attack after being knocked. Yeah, I want to do that. That's a little bit too much. That's a little bit too much money. Never mind. I lied. Too much money. What about this one? Oh my god, that was all my money. I didn't mean to do that. A lot of fun if you're okay with the RPG style battles. I'm pretty okay with that kind of stuff. Oh, no, I still wanted that actually. Okay, so pager, unread messages. All right, okay. Can I... Yeah? Dojima family office number, the 49 in the front means it's urgent. But for what you up to. All right. Yeah, whoops. There go my money. Oopsie, oopsie, money gone. Okay. 60 sub-stories. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. This, oh, no. There's so much already. Oh, no. Okay, all right. So do I just encounter side stories just by, like, walking around, or? Okay, so I'm back on Pink Street. 100,000 yen vending machine? What does that even mean? It's a dream machine. No. 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 No to that. Maybe another time. Alright, yeah, I don't have any money. I goofed up. I do not have money. Can you check map? Yeah, let me see. Yeah, how do I look at, like, a full map? Do I have a full map? What is notebook? Oh, okay, so I got all of these. I see. Alright. Can I see? I wish I could get, like, a full map. Unless I'm just being dumb. And there's a way to go to the map, but IDK for PC. One sec. Let me see if it's in the controls, maybe? Let's see. Keyboard and mouse controls. Map is M! Wow. M for map. Okay. Entertainment. Eatery, store. Gotcha. Okay, and a save point and a taxi. Yeah, no, exactly, right? Let's see. What's this? Is entertainment always karaoke, or could it be something else? F to zoom in. Space to zoom out. Okay, there we go. Oh, big area. Big. Okay, alright, okay. Yeah, no, karaoke time. Okay, so it's this building right here. Oh no, this is a ramen place. That's a ramen place. That says ramen. I can read. Which, what, huh? Is it back here? There's Mahjong near a karaoke. Yeah, I cannot play Mahjong. I know for sure I cannot play Mahjong. I want to go in this entertainment place. I can't see the entrance. Am I an idiot? Don't answer that question. Ramen. I can't read that kanji. I want to do karaoke. Saying time. Wait, I think that one says karaoke this way. It has ke. I just saw the katakana ke. Oh, hello. Whomst? Oh, hi. Oh, we're fighting. Okay, hi guys, how are we doing? Yeah, speed. Good night. Are you guys both done? Oh, here comes another one. Hey, where are you? Yay! Purple key to you. He's got... I just punched you like 3 times. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to karaoke now. Oh, or is it the Sega building? Is it the Sega building? That's fun. Okay. But like, how do I go into these places, please? Where's the entrance? Where's the entrance? I don't know how to get into... Oh, they might be closed because it's like real fucking early in the morning. Arcades are legit. Mayurburga. Baga. Yeah, I think they're closed because it's early. It's really early. I remember them saying it was like 6:50 a.m. not too long ago. I think you need to go up to the door and walk in. Okay, I'll go a burger. I will acquire a burger. Where's your door? Is this your door? Okay, and then E to enter. I see. Okay. Hello. Well, I only walk inside. That's nice to know. Hi. Hello. Free smut. No. Okay, you do that for every... Okay, good, good, good. Cool. Cool. Please, sugar. Please give. Thank. Yes. Thank you. Okay, bye. I'm just kind of figuring out how this game works. Bye. Okay. I just have to find the entrance for karaoke. I want karaoke. Karaoke time. Karaoke time. Karaoke, please. Okay. Corner. Oh, this might be, yeah. Okay, okay, so this is the entrance here. Arcade. Okay, I see. Oh, I can't go in. Oh, is that this one? Here. I cannot go in. I am almost taller than the door. Kiryu, big man. Okay, I can't go in there. I just want to go to karaoke. I'll get distracted on the way for sure, but I just want to go. They have Virtua Fighter? That's awesome. Sorry. Didn't mean to run into those people. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, can I go in here? No. I can't go places. Why can I not go places, please? Thanks. Maybe if I go somewhere closer to where the game wants me to go? That's a big... Ooh, big. Okay. Go up the street. Try the purple space up. So like this one right here, Red? That might be, yeah. I think I accidentally walked past that one. The one up past S Street. Okay. 1 second, let me open that back up again. Please. Okay. Ah. Oh, hey. That's helpful. There we go. I want to go there. Mahjong, Vincent Mock. Yeah, no, I want the heroin karaoke bar, please. Okay, well now I know where that is. I learned something today. All right, let's go. Yeah. Sorry. Hi. Oh no. Hi, hooligans. All right, I guess we're fighting. Hi. Yay! Woohoo! Nothing but stands between a man and karaoke. Nothing stands between a Sumire Hanaki and rhythm games. Can't present me with the option of a rhythm game. Huh? Oh, it's just telling me I'm close to where the thingy is. Okay, am I still going the right way? I am! Gotta go over here. Karaoke. Karaoke. Let's go. Here? No, next one. Oh. Andara. Yes? You? No? What? Where do I go? Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. I really don't know. Oh, she doesn't know about the cards yet? No, I don't. Gambara. That doesn't... What? What do I... Yeah. This is where I wanted to go, right? Right? Oh no, I think I wanted to go 1 street over. That's my bad. Yep, it's 1 street over. Okay. Understood. Oopsie doopsie. I might be. We'll see. Uh-oh. I'm a little bit stuck. Okay. There we go. Yeah, let me go next street over. Yeah, I still might be a little bit story locked, just in that like they'll let me walk around and find like sub stories and stuff, but as far as like going in places, they're like no. Okay. You? No. Which one? Where do I? Huh? There's huh? I can read. I promise. camera. Okay, what? 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 I just want to do karaoke. Okay, yeah, no, I can't go in here. Yeah, I can't. Cannot go there. Hey, no. Hey, can't go there. SM Club. Oh, SM Club, no. Yeah, I think that might be a little bit soft locked. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Yeah? Yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, I'll go where the game wants me to go. At least it's close to the karaoke bar. Look at this little Kappa. Look at that little friend. I love Kappa. Yeah? Yeah? Where? Oh. No, he said parking lot? Right? He said a parking lot, yeah? But I'm still going the wrong way somehow. I apparently can't read an... Oh, sorry. What? The S&M Club is important later. Okay. Hey. No. Hey. Okay, come here. There. Well, I now have more money that I accidentally spent on my own skills. Okay, but like for real, where does this want me to go? Sorry. Yeah. You want me to go? Where do you want me to go? Here? This is a barber shop. Huh? Excuse me, sorry. This building? There we go, yeah, okay. Toko credit. I don't know what they're up to. Better go in prepared. Sure. Let's go. Sure. If I get my ass beat, I get my ass beat. Alright, I'm going in. Hello. Y'all can put your pipes down, please. Why are you just walking around with those? Hello. Hi.
堂島組の桐生一馬だ。どこクレジットの社長に俺をはめた礼を言いに来た。
うちの社長はあんたに
Hi, my name is Kazuma Kiryu. I'm here to break your president's nose.
じゃあ、お前ら半殺しにして。
Yeah, baby, let's go.
この人数相手に
Yes.
あんた一人でか
Yes.
こっちはいい加減爆発しそうになってんだ。
I prefer rearranging noses, God. Big bones now, karaoke later. Let's go, baby. Ooh. Okay, nice net crack there, Kiryu. Can I grab him, please? Oh, no, I can't while I'm in rush mode. There we go. Okay. Okay. Bye-bye. Oh, didn't mean to kick over your stuff. Sorry, I'm not here to do property damage, just person damage. Night-night. Oh, there's more of you. Hi. Oh. Which one are we going for, Kiryu? Come on, there we go. Oh, Senti, trust me, you don't wish you could crack your neck like that. I have to crack my neck all the time. It's not fun. All right, everybody. Hello.
信じられねえ。
Hi.
まさかここまでたどり着くかよ。
I punch real good, sir.
じっくり話を聞かせてもらう。
話？何の話だ？
今さらとぼけだって時間の無駄だ。なぜ俺をはめた？
Yeah, Senti, my muscles, my neck are also so stiff. It's really bad.
おい、近づくな。 わかった。全部話す。だからちょっと待ってくれ。
No. Sounds like a neck crack so satisfying it puts you to sleep. God.
ただ人から頼まれた通りに動いて
Actually, right before stream, I had a really good neck
あの場
pop.
所で取り立てさ
It's
せるよう
great.
にって。
そいつを頼んだのは誰だ？
その人は。あ。
Almost. Kaze.
クゼの
Kaze. I keep saying Kaze. It's Kuze. Different.
まさか
Wow.
あんたが俺を
Knew it. I knew it.
何の話
I knew it. I called it. Roll the tape back. I called it.
桐生、お前何やってんだよ。あ、殺に実するように言ったはずだろう。寝ぼけたことやって
I'm
る
gonna
じゃねえ
keep
ぞ。
doing. Both of you do assume I'm never gonna stop doing dumb shit. That was a. Ooh. That was a punch.
ああ、やっぱちょっとなまってんな。現役の頃はガキのしつけなんざ一発で済んだんだがよ。
Yes, not Sasuke Hanaki.
社長さん、
Right?
ちょっと外してもらえませんか。この若いのに説教しねえとなんねえもんでね。
ごゆっくり。
Yeah, leave. Looks like my uncle. Oh no, Exceed. I am now extra terrified of Kuze. Oh, I'm sorry.
俺、
Why are you giving me cigarettes? I don't want them. Apparently, I do want them. Angry Grandpa Kuze.
うめえぞ。
I'm gonna break your fucking glasses, dude. Sure, whatever. I'm gonna fight you. It's gonna be great. Probably not right now, but in the future. I'm gonna snap your glasses in half. I'll be very happy about it.
いい機会だ。お前とは一度腹割って話してえと思ってたからよ。
It seems like you are predominantly bullshit, sir.
おめえと錦山、
The whole hierarchy can give each other smokes thing is interesting. I didn't know.
風間の頭
I didn't
が
know
やって
that
る
there's like a
施設の
hierarchy or a thing with that.
確かひまわりとかいう養護施設だ。
Aw, Sunflower Orphanage. That's so cute. Like Himawari, is that what he said?
極道なんてまともに育ったやつの方が少ねえ。孤児だからって恥じる必要はねえぞ。
Oh man, ain't that the truth?
ただな。
You don't get into the Yakuza if you have a very stable home life.
風間の頭が真似をするよな。
Aw, that's so sweet.
どういう意味ですか？
Good guy
拾
Kazuma.
ってきたガキに育てた恩着せてよ。今じゃ立派にあの人の玉よけになってるじゃねえか。おめえと錦山。頭のためなら命も惜しくねえってよ。こういうの洗脳っていうのか。
I don't particularly think that.
そろそろ本題に入ってもらえませんか？クゼの兄貴。
Same Kiryu. Same.
あんた
Same
の
buddy.
話はさっぱり先が見えねえ。
桐生、お前風間の頭をスパイしろ。
Oh, I will say that I
体の
will.
一粒の話はしたな。
This game does that
そ
to
れ
you.
さえ手にすりゃ俺が次の若頭堂島組の跡目を。だがそのために必要なあの土地のある情報ってやつを檻の中の頭が握ってやがる。
ある情報？
ああ、お前そいつを頭から探り出せ。うまくやりゃ組手の将来を俺が約束してやる。あの人がま
Entire
さか
side story about where they're trying to figure out who the sexiest slash best dad is. Oh my god, really? That's fun. That's amazing, actually. I love that.
構成員25000の登場会。その直径
Holy shit.
のし上がったとなるや大した出世。
Okay, so the clan is the umbrella, and then the family is the subset. Gotcha. Okay.
やっぱりあんたが俺をはめたんだな。
さあな。た
So.
だこの話を蹴りゃ
Sure.
おめえは確実に無所行きだ。 俺につくか、もう先のねえ風間につくか、好きな方選べ。
I'll say yes, but then I will proceed to not do that.
返事は今だ。この場でしろ。
Yeah, sure, for sure I'll do that for you. Yeah.
なんだ。
あんた賢いつもりで立ち回ってるんだろうが、全然器じゃない。
Oh my god, Kiryu!
何？
That takes some guts, man.
俺のこともおやすさんのことも。あんた何も分かっちゃいねえ。
Oh shit. Yeah, no, he spit. Yeah, no. He doesn't like feel like he owes Kazuma his life because of some weird brainwashing. It seems like there's like a genuine amount of mutual respect. Obviously, I haven't met Kazuma yet, so I can't like say that for sure, but it seems like it's not an unhealthy relationship, I should say.
極道ってもんでしょうが。
In short, Uze, fuck off. TLDR, fuck you. That's my beeper. Yay, beep. Okay. That's not a number I recognize. Who is it? I don't recognize the number. Can we finally get... I hope so. It's not his number, but that's got to be Nishiki calling. I'll find a phone and call him back. Find a payphone. Oh, nope. Nope. I'm back on rails, everybody. No karaoke yet. No karaoke time yet. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. No, 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 no. Okay, 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 okay. You guys are just making me rich. You next? Yeah? Okay. The big man cat. Yeah, bye. Leave me alone. I wasn't even doing anything, man. Okay, okay, so phone here. Phone here, phone here. I also demand karaoke exceed. I'm gonna riot if this game doesn't let me go play Bakamitai. Hello. What's up? What's up?
You doing
okay, buddy? Yeah, what's up? The audience is unionizing. Oh no! Chat's unionizing against me. Oh no!
なんせ柏木さんはあの風間のおやっさんの片腕だ。
なるほどな。
それよりお前の方はどうだったんだ。もう堂島組の事務所からはとっくに出てるんだろう。
ああ。だがいろいろあった。
Some complications. Yep.
直接会ってから話す。
Yeah, let's not say this over the phone, buddy.
なら俺は柏木さんと風間組で待ってるからすぐ来てくれ。
Okay.
お前も柏木さんの話を聞いといた方が良さそうなんだ。
Okay.
お前、殻の一つ
Okay, okay, Kiryu.
クゼの兄貴からさっき聞かされたばかりだ。
Please.
どうやら柏木さんは何もかもお見通しらしいな。俺もすぐそっちに向かう。
They might on rails me again here. Better head to the Kazuma family office. Okay. No! I am free! Karaoke, karaoke, karaoke. Karaoke! Where was it? It's right there. I want to go there. Okay, yes, yeah. No, here, you. Okay, so I just need to turn around and turn the corner. Gotcha, 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 gotcha. Bye. I'm just walking. Hello, excuse me. I don't want to run into people, excuse me. Okay. I got places to go. I got songs to sing. Ooh. Sorry. Oh, are you kidding me? No! Okay, come on. I don't want to go to karaoke. I don't want to go to karaoke. This I gotta punch these guys. Just sing, please. Thank you, please. Night night. Yeah. Sure. Okay. 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 This here? Oh, it's right there. It's right there. I see the kappa. Can I go in? Can I go in, please? Can I go in, please? What? Let me go. Damn it. Let me go. I want to sing. I want to sing. I want to do some song, please. Fine. Fine. I'll keep playing the game until it lets me do karaoke. They're even playing 24-hour Cinderella? No! Okay, okay. Doko Doko, where do they want me to go? What is... Oh, yeah, I know what that is. Okay, no. just the Excuse me. Sorry. 1 second, where am I going? Where am I going? Oh god, entirely the wrong way. Okay, so I can just turn right here and keep going. Alright. Hello, excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sucks to be hoomst. Huh? 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 What? What are you doing? Yeah, I do got a problem, actually. I can pick on someone your own size. Yeah, you mean someone your size, you big-o? Fine by me. Yeah, baby. You're gonna regret this immediately. Oh, okay, this is a little bit of a weird spot. Ah, no, stop it, no. Here we go. Say bye. Where's the other one? There you are. Good night. Okay. I'm sorry, it won't happen again. Yeah, better fucking not. Thanks, I don't know what I would have done without you. Please, take this. Got a slightly battered toughness Z. Sure, bye. I have other stuff that I'm doing. Oh, excuse me, sorry. You guys don't... No. No. Shut up. No. I'm trying to complete tasks so that I can sing karaoke, guys. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. 1 second, let me look at my map again. Okay, one more street and then I turn. Excuse me, sorry, excuse me, sorry, excuse me. This is the big main road. Okay, excuse me, sorry. Oh, hi, lady from earlier. Hi. Excuse me, sorry, excuse me. Nope, I'm good, thank you. Okay. Okay. Here? Yeah, this looks Yakuza-ish. Kazuma family office. Inside. All right. Karaoke. Come on. This all serves just to get to karaoke. Why is there watermelon in that? Was that pork and watermelon? Are you eating ramen with watermelon? Are you guys okay?
Yo, Kiryu.
Hi. Hello. How was your day? Mine wasn't great. God, I hate slurp noises. Okay, yep. It might be a banger. Yeah? Yeah, no, I don't like it. I don't like the idea of watermelon and ramen. Oh, you have a scar, sir. Okay. Kazuma family. Which is a subsidiary of the Dojimas, who's under the Tojos. Okay, alright. Yep. Oh. So we're wise to this. We're wise to this shit. He also doesn't own a gun. Dojo, Dojima, Kazuma. Okay, gotcha. Okay. I'll try and remember this. It did. To figure out the gang families in Bakano, I had to watch it like 4 times. It took me a while. So many names. But yeah, so are we gonna kill a man?
なるほど。つまり若頭補佐の3人衆が頭の座を争っているってわけだ。風間の親父がいないのを。
No, I don't.
冗談じゃねえ。
I don't think I can play this 4 times.
堂島の頭が務まるかよ。
落ち着け錦山。それより久世の話に出た殻の一坪だ。
I will say, even though I just like want to do side stuff right now, like karaoke and all that, I still am very engaged in the story. So like, I'm not annoyed that I still have to do story stuff. Like, not particularly. I also would like to see Majima. Please show me the boy.
安室町のある一帯に大規模な再開発計画があってな。堂島組の例の若頭補佐3人が食い争うように地上げをしてる。
それなら聞いてます。権利者バラバラの土地に根こそぎ買い漁ってるって。そいつをまとめ上げてでかく転売する腹でしょ。
そうだ。
Okay, I get
だが
that.
その中にどうやっても手に入れられねえたった一粒ばかりの更地があんだ。
Why though? Whose is it? Who owns it? Why are they not getting rid of an empty lot?
一帯の地上げが8割方終わろうって時に見つかった土地でな。
Oh.
厄介なもんで再開発用地のど真ん中にある。そこが手に入らん限り、いくら周りの土地まとめても売り物にならない。
That makes sense. Kinda.
そんなからくりがあったのか。
I get it.
ところでその一つをまだ誰も手に入れてないんですか。
所有者が行方不明だし。
Oh, owner's gone missing. Okay.
もし今出てくりゃ10億って値になってんだ。
1 billion yen for an empty lot in the middle of an alley? Holy shit. Well, at least the guy knows that people want it.
一坪がかけりゃ再開発自体がひっくり返る。だがどうしよう。周り一帯の地上げにもう100億以上突っ込んでんだ。一坪10億だろうが今更。
Honestly, that sounds like their fault for not doing their research. It's the empty lot. Yep.
必要なある情報を風間のおやすさんが握っていると言ってました。
Okay, yes.
風間のおやすさんの持ってる情報って何です？
いや、わからねえ。俺も初耳だ。
That is a lot of cash. Yeah, it's so much cash. It's too much cash.
土地の所有者に関係することでしょうね。何にしてもクゼはその情報をおやすさんから探らせるために桐生をはめたってわけか。
And I'll murder him one day.
そのために人一人殺してまでな。
Mystery deepens, yeah.
わかるか？桐生は当然として追い詰められてんのは風間の親父も同じだ。桐生が仇殺したってことで後見人の親父もけじめを迫られる。その上
Yeah, that's like a whole other thing.
クゼが殻の一坪手にして若頭になってみろ。奴は親父を必ず組から追い出す。
Such a less just I have negative tolerance for people who use other people to get the ends of their own means.
親父も無所にいる以上
Trying to send a kid who's low ranking to jail for murder. Nah, I'm gonna murder you. I'm gonna kill you myself. It'll be great. I'll kill him one day. It's gonna be great. I have a very strict moral code, which is usually very, very pacifist style, unless someone does something real fucked up, and in that case, they're dead.
でも、桐生は実際殺しはやってないんです。
Yeah.
こいつの疑いさえ晴らしゃ、親さんも破門にはならねえはずでしょう。
That's true.
疑いを晴らすには真犯人を抑える必要がある。
Also true.
そうだ。だが、クゼが真犯人を握ってる以上、
Thrice true. Yes.
相手は堂島組の幹部だ。この世界で上に噛みつくことは何があっても許されない。
Yeah, no, I know I can't fight him yet.
でもこのままじゃ、桐生は無所にぶち込まれるんですよ。
I'll get there.
俺らがクゼに手を出せば、風間の親父は余計立場が悪くなる。
Honestly, Kuze did a really smart move with this. Right? What a good friend, Nishiki. Good friend.
柏木さん。とりあえず、俺の濡れ衣も殻の一粒も後回しだ。
Why?
今とにかく、俺はおやっさんを守るために動きます。
Good son. Good son.
何かいい手があるのか。
Good son to his dad.
俺の不始末は、俺一人でけじめつけます。おやっさんに責任がいかないようにするにはもう、この手しか残ってね。
Kill people. No, I know Suri's already said that he doesn't like really kill anybody. Which is, honestly, you probably have to do that to keep a Yakuza character sympathetic. Because if he's just going around just blindly murdering, it's harder to make him your main character. Oh. No. We ain't doing that, no sir.
今回の一件、とにかく俺一人の責任としてケリをつけるんだ。その後、
Murder hobo style is kind of bland, yeah. A little bit.
何言ってんだ。杯もらって3年そこらのヤクザが5体満足で足洗えるわけねえだろ。最悪。殺されんぞ。
Kitty, they wanted your finger.
認めたかねえけど、
They wanted your finger. They're not gonna let you just go, dude.
あいつが生かしとくと思うか。
Exactly. Listen to your friend.
堂島組長だ。それにまだ殺されると決まったわけじゃねえ。
Like it's like a 99% chance they're gonna just straight up beat your head in with a baseball bat, man.
やけになってるだけじゃねえか。うるせえ。他に手はねえんだ。このまま指くわえて見てるわけにはいかねえ。
やめろ、キリ。
You're a good guy, Kiryu.
錦山の言ってることは正しい。
正しいかどうかなんてどうでもいい。
That does sound like Kiryu's plan, yes.
風間のおやっさんについていくために極道になっただけの半端もんです。俺の不始末でおやっさんに迷惑かけるくらいなら、俺にも覚悟があります。
You're a good dude.
舐めたこと言ってんじゃねえぞ。
That also, yeah, that also feels, yeah, that he doesn't 100% grasp the gravity of the situation, but he kind of does, but he kind of doesn't.
たとえ風間のおやっさんが止めたとしても、俺は行きます。
Ah. Why do that? Didn't need to hit that hard.
柏木さん。
Calm down, it's okay.
車頼む。
That is a really tough call for Kiryu to make, though. Like, I do understand it, because a lot of his problems are coming from the fact that he's so deep in the Yakuza, and if he wants to solve the situation without, you know, ruining Kazuma, he's got to get out. So he can do stuff his own way, and then get back in eventually. And murder Kuze for fun. Alright, after that deep scene, everybody want to go to karaoke? We should be waiting in the car. I need to get to Showa Street. Okay. This is not gonna end well. For literally anybody. I can't move. There we go. Oh. I probably want to save, yeah? Oh, here. Yes? I would like to save, please. Oh, I haven't saved yet at all. Oh my god. That was gonna be bad. Oh, wrong way. Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry. Hello.
兄弟。お前が組を抜けると言ったって、クゼの野郎がそれを許すとは限らねえ。
I know.
何が起きてもおかしくない。
Bad things.
覚悟を決めておくんだ。
Give me a second. I want to see if I can go into places now. I want to see if I can go in places. I'm just going to pick a place and see if I can go in. Okay. All right. What do I got around me? Okay. Oh, God. Okay. How far away is the karaoke bar? It's very far away. What's the closest entertainment thing to me? What is this one? Ah! Ah! The mahjong place. Okay, we'll go to the mahjong place and see if I can get in there. So if I can get in there, then maybe I can go to karaoke. If I'm gonna die, I want to do karaoke first, okay? See you in a bit. Just hang out, get some food, and it's gonna be a second. I didn't 110% look what streets I should be going down. I can just go to this guy right here. Hi, excuse me, oh god, I'm trying so hard not to run into people. I feel so bad whenever I do. Okay. Okay. Can I go in? I can! Yay! Okay, let's check this out a little bit though. Oh my god. It's a little bit cramped. Oh my god. Is that an axolotl? Is that an axolotl with a top hat? And another axolotl with an apron? Oh my god. I want an axolotl. Can I move it back? Can I not move it back? Oh, it's one of these. Gotcha. Gimme. 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 Did I do it? Oh, that. Oh. Hi, I'm actually pretty okay at crane games. I would really like the top hat one. Actually, is he a good... There's also a little bird in a top hat and a squirrel in a top hat. Okay, all right, okay. So, gonna go there. I think that's enough. And then right there. I think I was back a little bit too far. Just gonna just grab his butt. Oh, oh, that bearded dragon! Oh, now he's in a really bad position to grab him. And he has a little... Okay. Oh, I have another turn? I didn't realize. Okay, come on. Grab his little hat. You can do it. Well, now he's standing upright again. Life is gameplay on Twitch. Thanks, Cerise. Okay, sorry. One more time. Since it gives me 3 turns, I'm gonna do it one more time, and that's gonna be it. Oh, too far left. Damn it. Okay. Too far left. That was on me. What part of your body is the best to grab? Obviously, your big old head. Oh, he's gonna fall. He ain't making it. God, now I've just messed all of this up. I used to play a lot of crane games. My dad is ridiculously good at crane games. Okay, okay, that was wide enough. It might be able to grab him by the neck. Oh, he ain't gonna survive the little shock from going up. Oh! I love him! Okay, I do have one more turn. I am gonna go for the little sparrow. Okay, so this one is gonna be a little bit... Okay, so your lineup is there. I might not have gone left far enough. There. You have a good round body that's good to grab. Aw, baby. Oh, nope. Oh, but he's front heavy. That makes sense. This is the secret to crane games, is you need to find a thing that has a good gripping point. So like the axolotl, their big heads, how they taper down to their necks, that's a good place for the crane to grab. But like with the little bird, his body's so round, there's not really a grip point, so it can fall out really easy. That is the secret to a crane game, is they need to have a big thing that you can grab onto. Like these little guys probably would not be the best. You can maybe get caught on the bottom of their bodies, but it'd be hard. My dad really, really, really liked crane games. I remember there was one time when we were in Las Vegas, in the New York hotel. There's like a huge arcade, and my dad won so many things at the crane games that they thought he was cheating. He's just really, really good at crane games and knows how to pick the right thing. Okay, karaoke, baby. Okay, so up and over. Got it. Karaoke. I cannot believe I won both those axolotls, though. That makes me so happy. I really like the top hat one with his little mustache. Karaoke. Ah, sorry. Karaoke. Where is it? There he is. There he is, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. Yes. I think I might only be able to access these areas like at night. I think that might be the problem. Hi. Hello. Hi. 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 I'm just here for this. Yes. 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 Okay. Let's go. What songs we got? What we got? What's our selection? The time has come. What we got? I want to sing. Oh, God. Oh, there's so much. Oh, this is so 80s. Very much. Okay, I do want to do Judgment again since I didn't hear it the first time. I'll probably end up doing all of these songs at least once. I have an awful addiction to rhythm games, guys. It's bad. But hey, I can at least hear him this time. Okay. Da 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 ba 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 da da ba. I think I broke my combo, damn it. This is awesome. Oh, shit. We love rhythm game hell. Yes, this is where I live now. I live in this bar. All my money to this bar. Yay! 3 higher than last time. Okay. Damn it! I only missed 5. Well, I actually don't know. I don't know if goods are combo breakers here. That's the one problem with a lot of rhythm games is sometimes good isn't a combo breaker, but sometimes it is. It depends on the game and it's bullshit. Like, I think in Bang Dream, a good doesn't break your combo, but in Love Live, it absolutely does. Okay, another one. More. Yes. Yeah, we're going, baby. Since Red requested 3 times Shine, I'll do that one next. Yep. So I'm assuming 100? Oh, I didn't do... Ah, shit. Oh. Ah, okay, so we're doing this. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, shoot. What? I just really like the idea that, oh my god, that he knows the call and response. It's so funny. Oh, shit. Boogie Woogie, okay. Safi. Kitty really, really likes idol culture to the point where he knows call and response for songs. Yay! The lively interjections add more in the song. Okay, yeah, I didn't realize that that is what I was doing. It's still very funny. It's still very, very funny for Kiryu to be in this bar doing idol call and response. Yeah, no, I did shit at that one. Yeah, no, I know. I got confused somehow. Okay, but yes, no, we'll do Bakamitai. Oh, hi, Miku! You were the one that was singing. Okay. Oh, but like, okay. Yeah, thanks. Okay. I will do so immediately. Yes. Yes. I have 1 million yen to burn, baby. Okay. This song I do actually know. I just haven't put it in like my karaoke stuff just because it's a little bit low. I need to figure out a good way to be able to sing it without being pitchy and weird.
I sing for you.
I sing for you! Oh shit, I was supposed to hold that. That was bad on me. That was bad me. I love you more. That timing was really weird, but okay. Oh shit. Aw. This is what Kiryu was paying from. I mean, who knows? Maybe. I don't know, I like the second chorus a little bit more. I wish they did a thing where they did both choruses, because at the end they do both choruses. Yay! That was kind of okay. That I messed up a little bit. God, man. Hey, I got a thing. Okay, yeah, so if they took 7 off, I don't know how these points work. Okay. All right, okay. I'll do one more. And then I'm gonna take like a quick break to go use the bathroom. And then maybe I'll come back and do more. But I'll do one more. Okay, let's go. Go. Yes, feed my rhythm game addiction. I haven't played a rhythm game in so long. I uninstalled Love Live for my own good. Okay. Any requests on... Let's see. Okay, so these are both. Bang Dream was your downfall? Understandable. Let's see. Which one of these do I like more? I think this one I like a little bit more. Me and Red, same brain cell. We'll do the lively one. Alright. I do love that they have like these cheap, you know, like the very, very basic karaoke backgrounds. Welcome back, Senti! Did you miss me doing Baka Mitai? Because I just did it. If you did, I will gladly play that song again. Oh my god.
Everybody say,
oh my god.
Oi! 赤く染めるぜ、ルージュオブラブ。イェイ！イェイ！イェイ！ふわふわ
ふわふわ。
Come on, baby。おい！大好き。
大好
き。Go, go, 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 go. Pretty face. Hey.
I'm gonna die of laughing. Oh my god. Kiryu is so serious except for in this exact moment. Hi.
ゴミのような存在怯えてる唇を赤いルージュで隠したオルジョブラ
Whoa, whoa! Speed up, okay. Timing on that is interesting. Oh my god. Okay, Sentimus Baka Mitai. I want to do it again. Also, I think I can get a better score on Baka Mitai, so I want to do it again. Oh, the Rouge of Love. I just love how excited he was. Damn, I only missed one? Fuck! Well, the bats probably killed the combo, but still. I missed one. I missed one. Okay, Baka Mitai one more time, and then I'm gonna go use the restroom. Alright. I'm glad that made you smile, though. Oh, sorry, Finn, I'm just barely seeing the Nya thing. Sorry, when I'm playing the rhythm game, I can't see it for a second. Let me start. Actually, wait, so Finn, remind me, and I will start. Uh-oh. Too much is happening. Uh-oh. My stream deck decided to uh-oh. Can I get back over there, please? Thank you. Stop it. Turn that off for a second. And you stop as well. Okay. Yeah, I'll do. So remind me when I come back. I'm sure everybody will remind me when I come back from my break. I have a Nya redeem that Finn sent. Okay, one more time. Because if I can get a 96 on fucking Rouge of Love, I can get that on Baka Mitai. I can do it. Do it.
I sing
for you. Ah, damn it, I already messed up. love you more
ろくに言わない口下手でほんまに不器用なのにどうしてさよならは言えたのダメだね
Oh damn.
ダメよダメなのよ
I saw the bad there.
好きで好きすぎてどれだけ強いを避けても歪めない思い出がバカみたい
I think I did better than last time though. I think I only 100%. I think I only flubbed like one bit at the very beginning because my fingers fell off the keys for a second. It's the only song in Japanese that I can sing. It's actually the how like the syllable structure is. It's actually very easy to learn. I think I learned Bakamitai like really quickly. Yeah, baby! 97, highest score so far. Yeah! Yeah! Are you shitting me? I had one bad and one mistake. God damn it. It's okay. It's fine. That was still very good. All right. Okay. But I'm going to go use the restroom really quick, and then when I come back, we will get into we'll do more story stuff. So I will be right back. Hello. Oh, game. Gameware Go. Also Spotify, stop it. Game? 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 Hello? There we go. Okay, yes, welcome back. I also realized that I did every single song except for one. So I should maybe do the last song, just to be fair. I did all the other ones, I should do this one. You can only hear Spotify once you... Okay, oh yeah, shit. That's a thing I need to fix, thank you. I haven't put the new audio sources on my Be Right Back screen. Oopsie. Okay, but yeah, no, I did every one except for this one. So I should do this one again. Do lively interjections, because that's more fun. The problem with the interjections ones I don't do as well because I start laughing.
Go, go, go! Hey, hey, hey,
hey! Ah.
Yay, yay, yay!
Ah. I'm not doing well.
Oi, oi, oi!
Oi.
Moshi
Moshi.
Go, go, moshi moshi! ベルにくれたおいおいおい愛してるイケイケだぜじゃんじゃんチャッチャラッチャラじゃんじゃんチャッチャラッチャラ
Doing the cha-cha.
おいしいじゃんじゃんチャッチャラッチャラじゃんじゃんチャッチャラッチャラ
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. That messed me up so bad. Wow, I did really bad at the end there. I lost it. That's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna get like a 70 or something. Oh, not too bad. That's a high B. How many did I miss? Oh, 11. Okay. Ain't too bad. Could be worse. Okay. Let's play this game. Actually, let's do the game part of this. Well, we'll go back and do the story stuff. Bye. You guys will be seeing a lot of me. Oh. Another mini game. God, what other mini games are there? 1 second, I had to tab out for a moment to fix my screen. There we go. Okay. Yeah, what else we got? What else we got? Let's look. Okay, so. Okay, so we got you. Got that. Another Sega building. Shoten, which I don't know what that is. Gandahara Kamurocho. I don't know why that tripped me up. Karaoke going ham the karaoke bar by himself, exactly. Marketplace Mahjong Vincent. Mockbowl Yoshida Batting Center. Which one of these are specifically bars? I like the name Vincent. Oh, bar with pool and darts. How about I can click on it? Haha. Bowling alley, batting, mahjong. An Edo store? No. Shogi. Okay, and I don't know how to play shogi. Yeah, so it looks like... Yeah, Vincent is the bar. You can go check out the bar for a second, why not? Nishiki is just like, what is he doing? He literally, like, we're doing this really... He's doing this dumb thing of trying to leave the Yakuza. Where the fuck is he? And Kiryu's over here like, I'm gonna go! I played crane games! Nishiki, do you want an axolotl? I got one. I have 2. Yeah, no, we're not going to the adult film store at this time. Let's go. Bar. Ma'am, your dress is very pretty, excuse me. At this time, exactly. Not right now. Eventually, maybe. Right? Nishiki, for being such a bro, you can have the axolotl in the top hat. Hello. Hi. Can I... Oh, there we go. Hello. I would like to order, please. I have 1,000,000 yen. I can do what I want. Yamazaki. Tintori. I don't know any of these. I also just don't know alcohol, though. Give me the expensive one, why not? Yes. Fans of Japanese whiskey are on the rise, even overseas. And one big reason for that is right here. Yamazaki whiskeys have always been prize winners, but the 18-year-old variety has earned the most accolade. 1,000,000 yen? So, 1,000,000 yen is, oh gosh, I have to like move decimals in my head. But 100 yen is right around $1. So 1,000,000 yen is gonna be like more than 100,000. It's gonna be around 100,000. Somewhere between $10,000 and $100,000. It's a lot of money. Yeah, thank you, Exceed. Yes, I cannot do that in my head right now. This, along with fragrant chocolate note, makes for one full-bodied whiskey. Have I ever drank whiskey? I don't think that I have, but also I really don't think it would agree with me. You're okay, Senti, no worries. Would you like another one? Wait, keep drinking and reading? Okay. Another one. I'll spend $15 on this, that's fine. Oh, just different ones? Oh, okay, it does the same one. As an irresistibly age flavored, yeah, okay, so it's the same. You don't have enough for It's about 1,000,000 yen is about $8,000? Okay, that makes sense, because, yeah, it's a little bit... Oh, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Let me fix my timer. OBS. Okay. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Okay, timer, please work. Okay, there we go, Nya. All right, Nya. Drinks, Nya. I don't know what any of these are, Nya. I've also never had scotch, Nya. I drink vodka and wine, Nya. I do not really go past that, Nya. Sometimes I do white wine, white rum, I should say, Nya. This one, Nya. Can't do vodka, Nya. Understandable, Nya. I can only do vodka if it's obviously if it's mixed with other stuff, Nya. I just drink a lot of vodka cranberries, Nya. Then, Glenfiddich 12 years is the best-selling single malt whiskey in the world, Nya. This bottle set the industry standard for a single malt, Nya. This bottle, oh, you'll find it light and fresh, Nya. The bouquet is fruity and the finish is clean, making it exceptionally easily to drink, Nya. I do whiskey and amaretto. I can kind of do amaretto, it depends, Nya. Its light flavor makes it popular with anyone new to single malt whiskeys, Nya. Nya, Nyadka Nyan berries. God. Looks like you've had enough to drink for now, sir, Nya. Oh no. Okay, Nya. Well, I'm not super wibbly wobbly, Nya. What does this do now, Nya? Is that the Nanners brand vodka? Please! Oh my god, I would love to see that, Nya. Because we have, you know, the Pekora Sake, Nya. I would love to see... oh, excuse me, Nya! So you started to end your sentences in Nya. I think you had enough, Nya. Exactly, Nya. Oh, hello, Nya. I'll warn you, I'm really full of alcohol, Nya. Uh-oh. Oh, I clicked something. Oh no, what did I do, Nya? Oh, there we go, Nya. Okay, Get out of here, Nya! Get out of here, Nya! Bye, Nya. You! Next, Nya. Yeah, there's a Pekora Sake, Nya. People have called it Pekora juice, Nya. Yeah, it was like a super limited release kind of thing, yeah. The bottle was super cute, yeah. I do remember when Pekora had her mom come onto her channel, yeah. Pekora mentioned that she had sake and she had an extra bottle, and her mom was like, "Can we have some right now?" And Pekora was like, "No, yeah." Saving it for a special occasion, yeah. Yeah, it was like a super limited run sake, yeah. Oh, guys, no, yeah, no. Okay, yeah. But no, I would love to see a US VTuber get some kind of like alcohol thing, yeah. I'm sorry, Exceed, yeah. I know it only happened. I like I say, it was a thing that they didn't do for a super long time either, yeah. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna keep going down this street, and then we'll go see Nishiki, nya. Nyashiki. Oh, nope, no. I went out. Okay, gotta keep going down this way, yeah. Yes. No. 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 Where am I going, yeah? So, this way, yeah. Hanaki wine when, yeah, that'd be fun, yeah. Hello, guys. Hello, nya. Here you go, nya. Punch. Oh, hello, hi, nya. I really like it when I kick multiple people at once. I think it's very funny. What would Hanaki wine even be, nya? It would be a white wine for sure, nya. I can't drink red wine. I am a baby, nya. But when I drink white wine, I drink a lot of white wine, nya. Aw, Santi, thank you. This way, nya. Excuse me, nya. I'm full of alcohol and I'm about to make a dumb decision, nya. Hanaki sparkling wine, nya. Oh, that'd be fun, nya. That'd be cute. Okay, nya. Nishiki, nya. I want an axolotl, nya. Do you want it? I have a present for you, nya. Excuse me, nya. Okay. I'm free from the nya curse. Nishiki! Nishiki, I'm back! I had a lot of fun. You should come with me. Yep, let's go. Let's go.
大丈夫だ。行こう。わかった。乗れ。
Let's go. Let's go do something dumb and bad that might get me killed. No, I didn't, Senti. I didn't see the Ada redeem. I'm sorry. Let's wait for this cutscene to be over. Oh no. Oh, look at that child. Oh, Styx, I'm so sorry, Styx, I didn't see. I'll do that as soon as that's over. This is over. That is a one dad-looking man. Look at that baby Nishiki. Absolutely, Red. So fatherly. Such a dad. Aww. You can do it, buddy. I believe in you. Live your mobster dream. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Guy? It's okay,
Nah.
Kiryu.
今お前何考えてた？
Don't worry about it.
何もぼーっとしてただけだ。
俺はよ、いつだったか、おやっさんに殴られていた時のことを思い出してた。
He was thinking about the same
俺たち
thing.
がこの道に入る前の晩だったよな。確か。
Kiryu's like, what? I'm so,
てっ
huh?
きりお前も同じことを思い出してるもんだと思ってたよ。
Yep.
やっぱりおめえにはかなわねえな、兄弟。
Aww. Friendship. Mobster friendship. Okay, yep, that's not gonna go good. Hi, sir. Don't worry about me.
見慣れたはずの事務所が今日はやけに不気味に見えるな。
Hi. How are you?
お疲れ様っす。
Han, hi.
親父は
Um,
堂島組長。
there's a lot.
事務所にいるか。
Right now our character is going to
いらっしゃいます
try and leave the Yakuza so that
ここで降
he
りんのは
can
俺一
try
人
and
だ。
find someone who's trying to frame him for murder.
組長に伝えて
And also I sang a lot of karaoke and I won 2 axolotls in a crane game.
杯を返しに来たってな。
桐生さん。
It is
本気っ
gangster
すか？
nonsense a little bit.
ああ、
But no, this is not going to end well for anybody. Yeah, we're going to the head of our family to be like, hey, let me out of the Yakuza.
お前はもう行ってくれ。
本当にやるんだな。桐生。
Yep.
組長に話をつける。死ぬと決まったわけじゃねえ。
Yet.
せいぜい器用にやってみるさ。
お前にそんな真似ができるのかよ。
He really got me nervous. I mean, same. Yeah, I don't think you have the smooth talking skills. I don't think you have those skills, buddy. I'm sorry. Hi. Hello. Everyone's fists are clenched. I don't really like that. Oh, this is a different place. This is where Kuze is at. Okay. I'm assuming this is a different place. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, I lied. Sorry. Incorrect. Hi.
組を抜けてってことで
Yeah.
いいんだな、キ
Yes. For right now.
組長に波紋のお願いに上がりました。お取り次ぎ願います。クゼの兄貴。
I'm leaving so that I can do some fucked up shit and then I'm gonna come back to beat you up.
土曜の8時じゃダメだ。
Oh, Saturday. All man's favorite shows on TV. Shut the hell up.
話だったら代わりに俺が聞いてやる。てめえ。円弧も詰めてねえじゃねえか。手ぶらで組み抜けの挨拶とはな。
I don't owe you shit,
て
sir.
めえ極道舐めてんのか？ああ。
I also don't think the Yakuza frame members of their own family. Gonna go throw it. Oh yeah, no, I hate Kuze. I'm gonna fight him.
今現場で組み仕切ってんのはこの俺だ。
Sorry to Exceed's uncle.
口の利き方には気をつけろよ。
Nah, dude, no respect. No respect for this man. No respect for this man. I want to fight him. I have 2 million yen in my pocket right now. You want it? Man's a sussy baka. Get him out of here. Exactly. No, you're okay, Exceed. You don't gotta do that. It is very funny that he looks similar to your uncle, though.
学生気分で敷居またげるほど極道の世界甘くねえぞこら。
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's true, but like, we're not quitting just because it's not fun anymore. You tried to frame me for murder, sir.
いや、考え直せ。キリ、今なら全部水流してやる。
Yeah, yeah.
風間の頭
Whatever.
が。
Yeah.
彼の一つ
I
も
do
の
not
情
like
報を
this man. I would like to fight this man.
もうそれしかお前の生きる道はねえんだからよ。
組長に合わせてもらえませんか。ほら、破門してもらいに来たんす。
答えはノーってことか。
Yeah, no, not listening to you. As far as I'm concerned, our conversation is over. You're not the person I'm here to talk to.
てめえは使い物にならねえってことだな。
Great. Still go get the boss, fucker. Come on.
お前には俺のそばについてのし上がるチャンスがあった。そいつを蹴らなきゃ死なずに済んだのによ。あ、米だ。
はい。
消し方考えろ。
地味ですけど、山の中で生き埋めが一番かと。
Wow, okay. This took a turn.
後々こいつの死体が見つかった方がいいんだよ。堂島組は身内のしつけには厳しいって方が。
Alright.
評判も上がるって思うよ。
Time to start my own Yakuza. Time to start my own family. Crime! Exactly. Much crime. Ooh, cutscene. Okay. Criminal activity. Illegalities. Murder. Moide. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Kiryu. Are you a fucking moron? What are you doing? Like school club and anime, you need at least 3 members to start. Let me go find Majima. For real though, when do I get to see that boy? Yes! Say goodbye to your kidneys.
てめえ、兄貴分に向かって何しやがる。
兄貴分だと。俺はもうこの国
Yeah,
の人
yeah,
間じゃね
dude. If I'm in the Yakuza, y'all mean nothing. Ranks mean shit. It says hand thrown 0. You got this, buddy. Come on, Kiryu, let's go, baby. I'm ready to throw down, let's do it. I'm ready. My hands are on the keys, I'm ready to go. This guy kind of looks like Kopia and I'm a little bit mad about it. Got the mustache and the angular nose.
俺にはね、どうせお前はここで死ぬんだ。
Very arrogant
も
of
し
you.
生きて俺のとこまで来られたら、話ぐらい聞いてやる。
Bold of you to assume I'm gonna want to keep talking at that point.
首洗って待ってろ。
Cool, yes. Ready to murder. Fight, 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 fight. Yeah, no, this is really ballsy. It absolutely is. This is a terrifying situation. God damn it.
いつでもいいぜ。
Let's go, baby. Come on. All right. Okay, let's go. Okay, who am I locked onto? Woo! Hey, hey. Second, I might want to. Do I want to switch back over to Brawler? No, I like hitting fast. Hey, hey, hey. Wish I could see. There we go. Okay, lock on to somebody. Let's go. Out. Bye. And good night. Hey. 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 No, 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 no. That ain't what we doing here today. Oh, that table is sliding. That table's going around. It does have a little bit of a Sonic vibe, you were right. Thanks for all the money. Thanks for like 1,000,000 yen. You now? Right? Anybody else? You really wanna, Think that's wise? Bye-bye. Oh god, more are coming. Okay, hi. Hello again. Oh, you have a weapon. You're going down first. Okay. Woo! You now? Alright. How did I pick up stuff before? I want to hit somebody over the head with a thing. Oh, okay, I keep going. Okay. Yeah. Okay, 1 second. I want to go. I'm gonna go back to Brawler. Let's go. Okay. Hey! I earned 5,000,000 yen in this fight. You still want to fight me? After all this, you still want to fight me? Okay. Oh, hey. Nope, I did not say that you could break my grip. Goodbye. My fighting style absolutely is I'm gonna swing, and if you get hit, it's your fault. You chose to approach me. Hi. Oh, that man has a couch. It's shared. Something. Hey. No. Hey. Get out of here. You? Stop it. Hey. Uh-oh. Okay. I want to go. Please, can I go to the other one? Can I go back to... Okay. I don't know how to get back right now. It's fine. Oh my god. Dude, let me stand up, please. Oh my god. Okay, 1 second. Inventory. What is this? I'll do. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Hey! Chairman! Really? 1 second, let me see if I can't. How do I there we go. Thank you! At least I can move a little bit faster. Alright, let's go. Okay, there we go. Oh, god damn it! I'm trying to press E to back up, but it's not letting me. Okay. I'm just gonna whittle away at your health. There we go, fine. Can I take your chair? No. Hey! You do not know when to stop, my man! You're gonna lose all your teeth in this situation. Okay, we're going... No. No to you. Also no to you. Hey! Yeah, this entire Yakuza family is gonna want me dead, and that's not gonna go well. Oh, hey! Yay! Alright. Anything else in here? Oh. Huh? Oh, this door. Didn't do that. Oh my god, dude! Did that man just try to stab with a bulkhead? I think so. Alright. Really, man? You really want to keep doing this? Alright. 10,000,000 yen made in this. Oh my god. Well, at least you're helping me open doors. Thank you. Oh, wrong way. Oh, I don't want that, though. Give me that back. What's through? Uh-oh. Okay, this way. But are there are other doors? There's another door I could go through? Oh, no, that's the back right. Why isn't he dead? I don't know why. So that door's my only way through. Alright, then. Let's go, baby. Fight. Okay. Get out of here. You're not gonna want to do this, I can guarantee. The version of when the Doom Slayer starts hearing music? Exactly. Okay, can I go in, please? Can I go in? There we go. blocked from the other side. Okay. Still see any other way. I guess we'll have to jump it. All right, let's B and E, baby. How do I? How though? How do? Oh, E. Okay, quick time event. Quick time event. Oh nope, I just do it. Okay. Oh hi, I didn't know this was a bathroom. That's actually a little bit rude of me. Sorry. You guys don't even know what's going on. Hi. It's a long story. I'm just literally gonna have to get out of this. All right. Hey. Oh. Yeah? Oh gosh, why am I not? Can I lock on? There we go. Maybe. Okay. You guys are a little bit beefier. All of their beefy boys were in the bathroom. Oh my god, man, come on. Calm down. You really do not want to do this. Come on, dude. This is not going to end well for you. Oh god. Oh, that was a big stab. Okay, that was a very large stab. No. I want Okay, that did a decent amount. Hey! Oh my god! Motherfucker. Okay, 1 second. More health for me. Nope. Can I use this, please? Yes, there we go. Okay. I just like that they're there. Okay. Alright, okay. Hey! Yeah? Hey, no. Do you really want to get up? Do you want to reconsider getting up? Hey! Might not want to do that. Okay, back it up. No. Hey. Ah. That was a good hit. You can't stab what you can't catch. Exactly. Oh, God. Hey, no. No. I'll just use this one, why not? Because this feels like the end of this. No. Huh? No! Nope. Come on, just kick it. There we go, baby. Good night. Oh, God. Ooh. That can't feel good. You're gonna end up going out that window, man. Uh-oh. Oh, well, that guy's fucking dead. Oh my fucking god, he fucking dead. Alright, let's keep going. If he shows up again, I'm gonna laugh so hard. Hello! Who's next? I'm all out of healing items. Yay! Yes. Rip. Hi! What's up? Hello. Hey, Joe. Hi. Yeah, no, this is gonna be good. Do I actually get to fight him right now? I would love to. Me not having any healing items is very bad if I'm gonna fight him right now. Just let me out of the fucking Yakuza. Just let me leave, man. Talk before I break your jaw, you know. Yeah, who did it? Who did it?
どこに隠
Tell
し
me.
てる
Tell me.
ガキが調子に乗りやがって。
Yeah, just sitting here with your shirt off and your jacket on in a stylish way, just waiting. Like some asshole. Alright. Okay, let's go. This is not gonna end well for me. I'm gonna need to be a little bit smarter.
勘違いさせてまったらしいが、堂島を甘く見るなよ。
Wow, you're shredded, man, actually. You did not look like you would have that many abs.
お前はもうこの手で直接やらねえと気が済まねえ。
Okay.
いつまで脳がきたるてんだ
Okay, not my uncle.
さっさとかがってこい
What, your uncle doesn't have a six-pack?
かがってこねえなら
Alright, let's go, baby. Yeah, Yakuza. Daisaku. Hey, hi. I'm just seeing what you're gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna play this long range, baby. It's gonna be just fast and back the fuck up. If my uncle had Yakuza tattoos, I would freak out. That would be crazy. Okay, back it up, back it up, back it up. Whoa, baby! Get out of there. Get out of there. Move, 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 move. We're moving. Oh, damn. That was... I whiffed that. He has more than one health bar. Oh, I'm so screwed. I don't have any healing items. Exactly, Pun. I am doing a lot of undercuts. Okay, okay. Actually, I might want to switch over to Brawler. See if I can't hit him a little bit harder. I like being fast, but I also like the ability to grab him. Oh, come on, come on. Let me grab you. 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 Yes! Ah, yes. Headbutt him to the ground. That's what I live for. Oh! Yeah! What are you holding on to when you do that? I think I'm holding onto his hair. Oh, come on. Come here. Or I might be... No, he doesn't have his necklace on. I think I'm just holding onto his hair. His throat, too. That might also be it. That also might be it. Oh, come on. Get out of here. Yes! Oh, I missed that quick time. I missed that quick time. That was on me. There we go. Yes! I'm very happy about this turn of events. Come on, come on. Oh, come on. Really? Really? You're gonna taunt me? Yeah, no, we ain't doing no Smash Brothers taunts here, man. Okay. I'm just gonna keep going for grabbing you because it's very fun and a lot more personal. Uh-oh. Adamantium. Really though, all I wanted to do was break this guy's glasses. It'd be very satisfying to me. Oh, oh, that was on me. That was on me. Uh-oh, get back up, get back up, get back up, get 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 up. Okay, now I'm getting too cocky. I need to get out of this situation. All right. Hello. Oh God. There we go. I should have hit him more. Hi, give me your head. Hi, give me your head. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button. Hi. Hi. Grab. Grab. Grab him. Come on. Okay. I'm up. I'm up. I'm up. All right, get back up. God damn, I need to stop doing that. There we go. Oh, you shook me? No. Oh, you... Oh, okay. Maybe I've been doing it too much. All right. What? Do not do that. Excuse me, sir. Okay. Nope, 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 nope. We're just going back to the old-fashioned punching. All right. Here we go. Back to speed. Come on. Just juggled into the air. Come on. Come on, we're close. Yes! Oh my god, hell yeah! I beat him by kicking him in the ribs. Wonderful. Really, how are your glasses still on there, man? Oh, god damn it. Okay, hi, turtleneck and chain. No. I ain't got shit with them, I got shit with you. And just you, honestly. These other two might be up to some stuff, but they didn't try to have me killed. Oh? Is this the family head? Hello? Hi, sir. Hi. Hello. Hello.
怠慢張ってたんじゃねえのか、クズ。
It was not.
堂島の若頭補佐ともあろうもんが。みっともねえ恥さらし。
Sir, you're gonna have a lot of unconscious bodies on the stairs of your building. You're gonna want to make sure those guys are okay.
でも親父、その頭が拾ってきた鍵がこいつです。桐生一馬です。
Yep. That's me. Hello. How are you?
お前。取り立てで相手ぶっ殺しちまったそうだな。
I did not.
バカな真似し。
Being sussy, exactly, Tates. Yeah, seriously.
組長にお願いに上がりました。俺は誓って殺しはやってません。
Did not. Don't own a gun.
ですが疑いがかかってる以上、組に迷惑をかけられません。だから俺を破門にしてください。
虫がいいこと言ってんじゃねえぞ、バカ野郎。
Do you want me to kick you in the kidneys again?
こいつは俺がきっちりけじめつけます。これ以上親父に迷惑かけませんから。
お前。
Yeah, let's see how well it goes. Thank you.
桐生はお前の裁量で組抜けさせたんじゃなかったのか?
Pretty much. When you framed me for murder.
俺はしてません。
親父に向かって嘘はよくねえな。兄弟。
Yes, everyone turn against him.
俺も
Sell him up the river. Let's go.
桐生はもう組を抜けた人間だ。それを殺すのに親父の許しはいらない。そう言ってましたよね。クズの。
Amazing. Thank you. Yes, betray the betrayer. Let's go.
これ以上無様さらす気か。
Yeah. Yeah, you're in trouble, son. What is that? Yeah, get fucked, exactly. Huh? Is he gonna lose an appendage? You're gonna lose a fingy?
さあ、兄弟。
Bye bye. Well,
クゼ剣の会の。
you said you wanted a finger, man. You said you wanted to give the boss a finger. Your time. I also love this accountability shit. Yeah, ain't so easy now that you're being told to cut off your finger, huh? Which finger do you like the least? Ooh, oh gosh. It takes a lot of resolve to do this though, like a very strong person, like holy shit. Part of me wants him to do it, part of me wants him to wimp out and look even worse. Oh. Ooh, that crunch. Ooh. Holy shit. Oh, that was nasty. They didn't show anything, but it still like was nasty. Yeah, Yeah, I won this whole situation. That's great. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. Lovely. I'm so glad everyone turned against him. Especially because he probably ratted Kazuma out to the cops.
一度口にしたことだ。桐生一馬、今日限り堂島組を破門とする。
I'll be back.
堂島組長。
Maybe. Thank you, 会長。Yep, thank you, 会長。
ありがとうございます。桐生、ここまで苦労して組を抜けたかった理由は何なんだ。
俺と風間のおやっさんの身の潔白を明らかにするためです。今回の一件、俺は殺しをやってません。風間のおやっさんも全く関わりありません。ですがあの一坪で俺が金を取り立てた男が死に、組に迷惑かけちまったのは事実です。俺は組抜けて責任取
By
らせたんです。
responsibility, I mean more murder.
風間の親父のことだけは。
さあ、飯でも食うか。
Thank you, sir.
堂島組長。
お前が組抜けて取れる責任ってのは何だ。
それは絶対に俺があの一粒で男を殺した犯人を捕まえます。それで俺と風間のおやっさんの身の潔白を。
そう。
Vigilante justice.
その必要はない。
でも犯人を。
What?
犯人
What?
そんなのはサツが勝手に探す。お前はもう仇だ。
Chance.
それじゃけじめがつきません。
けじめだからてめえは仇だろうが。今さらごちゃごちゃうるせえ。
Okay, that's yeah, okay. I mean fair.
自分の不手際があると認めるところはあるんだろう。
はい。
Kinda.
少なくとも
Only kinda.
自分があの場所で追い込みかけなければ、ひょっとしたらこんなことには。
だから破門を申し出た。
For vigilante justice. Yes.
安心しろ。けじめならきっちり取ってもらうさ。
Okay.
風間が拾ってきたガキ。
Sorry.
桐生、お前の不手際であの土地に手が出しづらくなっちゃ
Are
う。
you shitting me? After all of that? Literally.
風間に取ってもらう。お前もさっきまで極道だったんだ。この理屈はわかるだろう。
堂島
I
組長。
do and I don't.
極道は一度身引いたらしまいだ。お前は仇として幸せになる道でも探すんだな。
Okay, yeah, nope, nah, yeah, we can't get back in this family. All right, okay, We may have fucked up. We may have really fucked up. Kiryu, this is not good. Yakuza politics, ew, exactly. I have no idea. I also do not understand Yakuza politics. This is just me going off of my gut feelings, for the most part. Where's Majima? I would like to see the boy. Please. Oh, buddy. You've had a really bad day, I know. Stop looking, keep walking. This ain't about you. Okay. Just having a day, man. Having a day.
立てますか?
Hello? Oops.
このままだと
Yeah, it'd be really awkward if he was never in the Yakuza again. Exactly, right?
私は立花と申します。
Hi.
立花。
Yeah?
あなたが今置かれている状況は全て承知しています。私はあなたと会うこの時をずっと前から待っていたんです。
Why do you only wear one glove, sir? It's just civilian too,
少しだけ話
exactly.
聞いていただけませんか？桐生。
You are also a good-looking man. You give off the same vibes as the dude that in Squid Game that was doing the envelope game, though. So, the way that Suri said you, I feel like I should not trust this Tachibana man. Cool. It's got 12 million yen. Oh my god. Climax battle item open. Okay. He only wants the one hand to stay soft. God. Okay, I'm gonna go over this save. Yeah, I don't need another one. Okay. Wait. Real estate broker. Is he the does he own the lot? Is he the dude? What? Your face animation and textures are so good. Oh, please don't be naked. Alright. Twitch, don't ban me. Twitch, don't ban me. Twitch, don't ban me! Please don't show a butt. I don't want to get banned. Red. Hi. Give him a robe, but what? Why did you not put your own clothes back on?
ませんよね。よかったらいかがです？
He does look very comfy. He kind of deserves it.
空気にはなれね
You need to eat, buddy. It's very
え。
important.
あんたが誰かを聞くまではな。
Okay, that's also fair, though.
私に危険は
It looks like really good food. You're right, Red.
くつろいでください。
No, you give major Squid Game vibes. You give so many Squid Game vibes. I don't trust.
俺の服は
だいぶ汚れていましたので。
Senti, you are not wrong. That is not a bad feeling here. You seems like a cool dude.
だったな。
ええ。ご安心ください。私は堅気の人間です。
Oh.
カムロ町で不動産屋を営んでいます。
不動産屋？それが
He's the pure image of. Oh yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
料理本当に食べないんですか？
He just has that air of like, I know so much about this situation and I'm gonna tell you none of it, and that is not trustworthy to me. Gotta be transparent. God, Finn. Oh. Do you have a prosthetic?
右手は義手です。
Yeah, he's gonna actually play Dutchie. Exactly. Exactly.
数年前に失ってから寒くなると痛みます。不思議なもので、ないはずの指先までうずいて鎮痛剤も効きません。四六時中痛みを我慢するだけです。でも痛みを顔に出すのは面倒なんでやめました。
That's interesting.
そんなことは聞いてね。
I don't recall.
桐生さんは登場過剰という言葉を知ってますか？
登場？
登場過剰。いくつもの花が集まって大きな一つの花になっているものをそう言います。実はあなたもよくご存知のある花もその登場過剰でしてね。
何の話をしてる？
What?
ひまわりですよ。
Exactly. Like that's cool, but did I
たく
ask?
さんの小さな花の集まりな
I
ん
love
です。
Tachibana. Okay.
子供が集まる養護施設につけるにはいい名前です。風間さんがひまわりと名付けたんですか？
あんたは
Yeah. What's up?
あなたはひまわりで錦山さんと兄弟同然に育った。もう一人沢村由美さんというお嬢様です。やがてあなたと錦山さんは親と慕う風間さんを追って極道の世界に入った。そして今
Why are you telling me my own life, sir? I get that it's an intimidation tactic, but also I get it. You know who I am.
もういい。あんたが俺を知らなかったのはよくわかった。
It is a Sunflower Orphanage, Finn, right? It's so cute! The Himawari Orphanage!
だがなんで俺を調べた？あんたの目的は何なんだ？
今、カムロ町の不動産屋が欲しがるものといえば、一つしかありません。
Oh my god, everyone wants this fucking plot of land.
また殻の一粒か。
私と手を組んでいただけませんか？
Okay.
桐生さん。
Maybe.
堂島組の若頭補佐たちが殻の一粒を手にすれば、風間さんは波紋を免れません。ですが私があの土地を手に入れれば、風間さんを守ることができます。それに、あなたの濡れ衣も晴らさなければ、カムロ町における我が社の情報網はちょっとしたものです。私と手を組めば、きっと真犯人を追えます。
なんでそこまでして俺を引き入れようとする？
Yeah, the plot thickens, yeah.
あんたの本当の目的は何なんだ？
Big shot? God. Does she want to be a big shot?
俺の服を返してくれ、立花さん。
私の申し入れを拒むと。
No, I just don't want to stand naked in another person's home that I don't know.
そういう時ほど用心しなきゃなんねえ。生き残るためにはな。
なるほど。
Yep, yep. Oh yeah, Pon, since you weren't here for it, the empty lot is like the one piece that nobody can get in this like really convoluted real estate scheme. But nobody knows who owns this lot, and it's right in the middle of everything, so people want this lot so fucking bad.
服はすぐに持ってこさせます。では、
It's the empty lot. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, please give me pants. Thank you. You should eat that food, though. Food it's important. You need to eat, buddy. I know you've had a rough day, but you should still eat, please. I should let Nishiki know I'm not dead yet. He's probably still at the Kazuma family office. Okay. Let's see. I want to see Majima. Just want to watch the blood I've been closed. That's actually very fair. I did. Oh god. Okay, now I gotta fight these guys. All right. Hello. Oh. Ooh. Oh, I am in rush. Okay, good. Oh, come on. What am I? I don't know what just happened there. Good night. Hey. No, that's not what we're doing. Goodbye. Night night. Bye. Oh, I do want to save. Oh, sorry. What did you jumped back into me? Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me. Yes, I would like to save, please. Oh, sorry. Oh, I should maybe buy some food things now that I don't have like any healing items, huh? Hello. It's how the NPCs. It's. Hi. Hello. Oh my god, a bowl sounds so good. I'm getting hungry. Almost time for my dinner. Oh, I didn't think I would eat it right away. I thought I would. Okay. Well, you know what? Now he's eaten. Now he has consumed food. Excuse me. Hello. Excuse me. Where am I going? That's a good question. Where am I going? The wrong way. I could just turn and then go that way. Sure. I want food by my. Oh, that sucks, Senti. That'd be the worst for me because primarily what I cook out of is a microwave. Ugh. Sorry. No. They didn't see me. They didn't see me. No, you did not see me. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm running from some people who did not see me. Yeah, no, I'm getting out of here. Leave me alone. Oh, Too far. Let's go see Nishiki. Nishiki! I'm sorry, Senti. I wanna see Majima. I would like to see Majima, please. He's on the cover of this game, and it's been 4 hours and I haven't seen him. I would like to see Majima. Yeah, exactly, Cerise. You can have some later. Hi. Is Nishiki there? Excuse me, Mr. Nishiki's boss. Can Nishiki come out and play? Yeah, it's a little bit. It might be a little bit too late for you, Senti. I also don't believe it.
なんとだがこれで俺はきっちり堂島組を破門に
Make a chicken bowl then, Pun.
そうか。それじゃあ、おやさんももう大丈夫ってことか。
No, P is very much not in the clear, buddy. You're true. That's true. It's not the same, but you can still make a good rice bowl. I'm out of rice, otherwise I would do that for you. Keep getting to buy more rice because I don't have to buy it very often because I buy really big bags. So I forget. Yeah, I know.
クゼを捕まえて真犯人の居所を吐かせてやる。
そうだね。
I mean, like, yeah, you're kind of free to do stuff, but also.
それじゃあとりあえず柏木さんにも
Does dog can't eat tofu? That's a good question.
いや、俺は登場界から破門された人間だ。もう風間組の事務所には入れない。柏木さんにはお前から伝えてくれ。
Yeah, no, we've been really expelled. Like the most expelled.
きっちり筋は通す。
筋って、お前は何も悪いことしてねえのによ。だったらお前、この後アパート帰るだろ。俺もすぐ行くから、詳しい話はそこで聞かせてくれ。
Okay, sounds good.
じゃあ、後でな。
じゃじゃん、じゃあね。I should head home for tonight. From here, it'd be fastest walking north through the hotel district. Please, please, for the love of God. Okay, since they're putting me on rails, give me the boy. Give me the boy. I just want to see Majima before I end this stream, and I'm not going to stream for much longer because I am getting hungry. Hey, you. Hi. That's an interesting outfit. Why are your chests so big? It's gonna be a while? Okay, good to know, Red. Thank you. There's a problem? Yeah, you seem to think you could just walk by me without a word. Do I know you? This isn't your turf. Why should I have to tell you anything? Not here to chat. If you don't want to get hurt, you'll leave all the cash you've got and get lost. Yeah, that is a big boy. Big boy. So this is a shakedown. You should pick your targets better. I don't have a single yen for chumps like you. I guess we'll do this the hard way. Hope you're insured. I hope you are. You really do not want to do this. Mr. Shakedown! Yeah, you don't want to do this, man. You really don't want to do this. Oh, wow. There we go. Whoop. Okay. That was a lot. Alright. No. Be careful. Okay. Thanks, Red. Uh-oh. I'm already gonna die. Well. Oops. Fine, take my money. Yeah, I got curb stomped. Like, legitimately stomped into a curb. You're not half bad. I'll let you off the hook this time. What? I'm having trouble with somebody like you. I need to change my training regimen. You weren't having trouble with me. You were stepping on my face. And then this fight stopped. I needed, let's see, time to bump up the intensity, which is gonna be expensive. If I want to save up that kind of money, I've got some shaking down to do. Okay. Damn it, get back here. Hey, you okay, man? Yeah. Not really, but yeah. Just had the misfortune of meeting Hiroya Igashira. Mr. Shakedown, they call him. Mr. Shakedown. Yeah, he'll go after anybody that crosses his path, and then he takes everything they've got. Seem like you can hold your own in a fight, but that guy's on a whole different level, that's true. No worries, Exceed! I'm probably gonna end stream here in a minute, because I really am getting hungry. And it's already been almost 4 hours, wow. Seem like you can hold your own in a fight, but that guy's on a whole other level. If he sets his sights on you, you run for it. Definitely more than your average tough guy could handle. Well, still, I wish someone could come along and beat all that stolen money out of him, though. Goals for the future. What, did he get you too? Damn right he did. Took my whole holiday bonus. I knew I should have made a beeline to the bank with it. You be careful too next time you're sitting on a stack of cash. Oh, and rumor has it, Igashida is not the only Mr. Shakedown. And that they aren't just a Kamurocho thing. Stay sharp if you ever go out of town. Mr. Shakedown, huh? He was insanely tough. I probably haven't seen the last of him. Better keep my eyes peeled. Oh, great. If you lose to Mr. Shakedown in battle, he'll take all the money you have. If you spot him in the street, the safest tactic is to run away before you can rope him into fighting. If you can beat Mr. Shakedown, you'll reclaim all the money he's stolen from you. The amount he's carrying varies at different times. If you can take him down when he's especially flush with cash, you can make back more than what you've lost. Oh, that's not gonna go well. I should just head home for tonight. Yeah, I think I'll do... we're gonna head home. Gonna head home. And that'll probably be the end of the stream. Okay, keep going this way. Let's go. He's basically a bank that I have to hit. Leave me alone. Oh my god. Okay, fine. You really don't want to do this, but okay. Ghouls. Good night. Who's next? You? Alright. Okay. Save at a booth. I don't know how well it auto-saves, but pretty much fine. Okay, good to know. Oh, you've never had a piggy bank? God. But no, I will save, Red. Thank you for the tip. Okay. Let's go. Yep, say please. Say please. Okay. Oh, and so since things are kind of winding down, I'll talk about the rest of this week as far as like streams go. So tomorrow, 6 p.m., I will be playing more of this game, more Yakuza tomorrow, 6 PST, 6 p.m. PST. And then on Thursday, I'll be playing more Stardew Valley. We'll just have kind of a chill time. But then on Friday, if you aren't already a member of my Discord, hop in there because we're going to be doing a movie night. Don't know what movie we're going to be watching yet. I'm figuring that part out. But I want to do this like once a month or like twice a month. Just hang out with people, watch movies, so I can watch more movies. Because as much as I love movies, I forget to watch them a lot. So you can travel to Kitty's apartment from here. Yeah, we'll call it a day, right? Feels like I haven't been home in forever. Way too much has happened in the last couple of days. Yeah, a little bit. And a little bit. Going. Map? Oh, map is not helping. What? Huh? That was weird. What? Okay, this way. What? Where am I going? What? I'm very confused. Why can I not keep going this way? Alright. Stairs? I don't think this is where it wants me. Oh, it is where it wants me to go. For some reason, I thought it was like in a different... I don't know why I was confused by that. That was me. Yeah, that was me not understanding video games for a second. Leave me alone, Pawn! Hi, Nishiki. How are you? Been a day,
見
man.
るしかねえぞ。
分かってるって。他に
That's another reason why I need to be done with stream. Brain stopping working means my Adderall's wearing off. Brain no work.
なんか言ってたか。
いや、何も。
そうか。
でもお前が生きて戻ってきたの見てから、またすげえ勢いで例年
Like a man possessed. Oh.
それまではむっつり黙って何にも喋らなかったんだけどな。
Oh, hey, that's nice.
あの人らしい。
だろ?
That's cute, actually.
そうか。あのクゼが円弧詰めることになるとはな。何が起きるかわからねえもんだ。
I mean, that's true.
ああ。
Made my day.
これから若頭補佐の3人のうちの誰かが殻の一粒を手にすりゃ。
I want to clean this house.
は組を終わり。
But I'm not surprised you said
それ
that.
に俺の殺しの濡れ衣も晴らさねえと。
I need to make
さ
sure
すに目つけられたらもう終わりだ。
that my house is kind of clean when Pan comes to visit next year.
実はな、投稿クレジットの社長。
What?
殺されたぞ。
Huh?
何?
Yeah, same. I also asked
ニュ
Nani.
ースになってる。会社の中で撃ち殺されてたらしい。
Oh, that ain't good.
あの社長はクゼの指示でお前を殻の一坪におびき出したんだろう。多分クゼがその
did
口
Kuze
封じ
kill
を殺させたんだ。
Or is it no?
クゼは
Maybe.
あいつはそんなに簡単に人を殺すのか。
Apparently.
あのバカなんだってやるさ。てめえの身を守るためだ。だからよ、正面切ってクゼから真犯人聞き出すってのは相当難しいぜ。他のやり方考えねえと。
Pan coming over next year though is helping kind of push me to finish redecorating my apartment. It's giving me a deadline, which is nice. To be fair, his Kiryu's apartment is a really big mess. The man needs to take out the trash.
組を抜けた後、その立花って男が来たんだ。殻の一粒を手にするために協力しろとな。
Anishi, have you seen Squid Game? It's like that dude. You know the dude.
を晴らせるとも言っていた。
おい、待てキリュウ。俺知ってるぞ。この立花不動産。
Oh wait, what? No, huh?
奴ら殻の一粒にまで手出そうとしてんのか。
どういう連中なんだ。
Yeah, he does need to take out some trash.
立花不動産は町に事務所構えてるような真っ当な会社じゃねえ。俺も聞きかじりだけどよ。一言
Shadow business.
カムロ町に特化した不動産乗っ取りのスペシャリストだ。
不動産乗っ取り？
ああ。今カムロ町は狭い土地に飲み屋やら風俗やら店がひしめき合って空きがねえ。しかもそのほとんどを東上界の極道たちが仕切ってる。だが立花不動産はそのカムロ町の鉄の壁に穴を開けることができるんだ。
It's named Tachibana Real Estate. That's interesting.
どんなに繁盛してる店だろうが。
Floors are so
立花
dirty.
不動産が目を
What
つ
did you
けり
do
ゃ
to that
数日の中
tatami
に中の人間
floor?
は追い出
What
され
did you
ちまう。
do?
金、脅迫、嫌がらせ。ヤクザ顔負けのやり口で店潰しちゃ、空きになった不動産を転売するって話だ。
Wait, is this Majima's? No, Majima has a construction company front. I know that. I know that there's Majima has something that's like a I don't think it's a money laundering scheme, but I know he has like a construction company that isn't exactly legal.
立花不動産は札付きだ。東上界本家も連中を排除しようと追ってるらしい。
Oh, it's faded with smoke damage. That makes sense. Yeah, he does smoke. We saw him smoking at the start of the scene.
そのくらい厄介な連中ってことだ。けどそいつらがおめえの味方につくとなると面白くなるな。
信用できる相手ならの話だ。
Majima runs an idol
なんで
cafe.
俺を引き込もうとするのか、立花の腹が読めね
え。なら明日
Idol cafe.
立花不動産を調べてみようぜ。探ってみる価値は。
I already love Majima so much.
調べるのは俺一人でやる。
あ？
お前が俺と一緒に動けば堂島組に目をつけられる。お前は関わるな。
That's true. That's fair. Yeah, dude, man, they're absolutely I am probably gonna die. This is probably gonna be the end of my life. Whenever I get to meet Majima. Maybe next stream I will meet the boy. See what I can find out about him. Okay. Alright, I will do that next time. Is there a place I can save over here? No. Okay, let me get back into the town and I will save. That'll be it. His walk down the stairs is very good. Yes, I would like to go to Komodo. Yes? Yes, please, thank you. Okay, phone booth, please. Turn camera, please. Oh god. Oh, my mouse cord. Okay, there we go. No! 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 I'm just trying to... fine. Okay, come on, let's fight. One last fight. Yep. Oh, god. Really? No. Seems a little bit beefier. Only kind. Yeah, ちょっと待って. Apology accepted. Phone? Where? What? Oh, there it is. That's exactly my whole feeling thing, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna save, and then like when I load it next time, these dudes are gonna be chasing me. So no, that's gonna be it. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming to my first Yakuza 0 stream. This game has been so much fun. Like, I'm already having a great time. Oh, thanks, Sega. Can I please leave? Can I please leave this game? Thank you, quit, please, oh, God. Ugh. Close? No, nope. No, get out of here. Yes, I want to get out of here. Okay. No, thank you guys for coming. Let me go ahead and see who we can, raid real quick. All right. Oh, Sticks, I am so sorry. I just noticed I did not do the ara. So I will end the stream while I'm looking here. Oh, looks like Abdog is streaming. I might send you guys her way. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. All right, really quickly before I let you guys go. Again, Sticks, I'm sorry if you're still in chat. I'm so sorry. I forgot. I will do it now. Ara. It's okay. All right. Yes, let's go ahead and send you guys over to Abdog. She's playing Terraria. Yay! Thank you guys again so much for coming. Hope to see you at my Yakuza stream tomorrow, or at Stardew on Thursday, or maybe in my Discord for my movie night on Friday. But hey, before I let everybody else go, Eddie, do you want to say goodbye? Good boy. All right, everybody, have a good night. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.